the mother, she lied. And that's not a good thing for the case when it comes to bringing justice to Ashlee. The mother told us that she didn't hear from Joe. And if we believe the original story that came out and we don't put the puzzle together, then what's going to happen is it's going to confuse this whole thing. Now, when you guys come to this platform, you have to understand that we're not like these other YouTubers that lie to you all day. Like Trent, he lies every single day. Every day. He told you the other day that he know where Joe McCann is. Remember he told you that he has a source and he knows exactly where Joe McCann is. Well, that was a lie, because TMZ made it very clear that Joe pretty much just got released from Africa to come back to the United States. So, and TMZ said that when Joe come back to the United States, he's going to go to a disclosed area, which means nobody knows. So this is why you don't hear me saying stuff like, I know where Joe is. Have you ever heard me say that? Have you ever heard me say, I know exactly where Joe is? I got a source in Zanzibar. I never talk like that because I don't got no time to be lying to you folks. Because too many people are lying right now. You got Fumi, she lies every day. She's trying to literally take down my channel by filing 3 copyright claims, which is bogus. Trying to silence me for bringing justice to Ashlee, guys. I'm the only YouTuber under attack when it comes to this case because I'm actually the one that is bringing actual factual information that people can look into. Let's learn a lot about Ashlee's mother. You know, something none of these YouTubers talk about. Ashlee's mom. A lot of you, when the story broke, you were sympathetic, and I get it. Ashlee died, and it's a tragedy. It's bad. So first thing first, you're going to want to show a little compassion. I get it. A mother loses a child. The first thing we want to do is give them moral support. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem here, guys, is that a lot of us as viewers, we were misled. We were misled into believing that her and Ashlee's father were together and had this wonderful relationship. That's not true. This woman been with a white man for over 22 years. Like literally. We're talking about way back in 2004. Ashlee, I believe she was born somewhere in 1995, 1996, somewhere around there. So you're looking at about around, you could say when she was about 9 years old, that is when she got with the white man. And that's pretty much the only father that she known. And because of that, it's something that I want you all to understand so that we know Ashlee's upbringing. Because she wasn't raised by her biological father like that, the way y'all think. She more know the man that she was with. You understand? Because when we saw the official interview between TMZ and the family, TMZ was trying to give Ashlee's family the opportunity to, I guess, get their story out there. And now it's like the tables have turned in the case because the family did some dirty things and TMZ caught on to that. And now they're promoting They're promoting Joe now, and they're trying to make. Well, I wouldn't say they're trying to make. I don't want to say that. Um, TMZ is just doing what TMZ is supposed to do. TMZ is going to report the news. So I don't want to say that TMZ is trying to make Joe look good. What I would say, if I can clarify, is that because the family of Ashlee dropped the ball when they rejected TMZ from the funeral, TMZ have no other option but to get the news story to you, the people, from Joe now, because they're not going to really cover the family no more because the family disrespected TMZ. And I keep telling you guys, if Ashlee's family wanted justice, they're supposed to use all of the resources available to them, including TMZ, ABC, any news station that is willing to hear them and get the story out there. That's free promotion. That's free advertisement. That's free publicity. Not in the context of the family wanting to be famous or they want to be popular. We're not talking about that. We're talking about bringing awareness to the story. For example, here at Ringo TV, I'm pretty much doing my best when it comes to this case. I'm being attacked. The YouTuber Fumi Della Void, a lot of you probably follow her. I already done told you guys, stop following these people. She literally hit my channel with multiple copyright strikes trying to shut me down, silence me. And at the same time, she's on her platform spreading lies, trying to stop me from bringing the news to you good people so that you know what's going on, because she's trying to focus on getting money. Do you understand? She's not focusing on the case with Ashlee. She's focusing on money, guys. And it's sick. It's sad. That's why if you read my community posts, you'll get all the information, all the facts. Check it out in your own leisure. Go to the community tab on this platform and look at what Fumi Della Void did to me, guys. And you have to ask yourself the question, if she's really concerned about justice for Ashlee, why would she be attacking YouTubers trying to silence their voice, guys, and destroy their YouTube platform so that it destroys their livelihoods, it destroys their process of making videos? Who would do such a thing? Only a person that's full of greed, a person that just want money. So what I need for you guys to understand is this. TMZ was behind the family 100% in the beginning. If you go to TMZ's page, let me see if I could do this real quick so I could get the receipts, and we can and understand that it's going to be backwards, because let me do this. Let me do this before I even start. Right. This image, I can flip this image. You know, when you're using an iPhone, it does a mirror image, but with this, I can flip it that way. That way, it looks proper on your end, right? But with the website, I cannot do that because I need to see the website so that I know what's going on, right? So now, let me see if I could do this, right? This is supposed to be TMZ here, right? Let's just type in Ashlee. Let's just type in Ashlee and pretty much see what we get, right? So now, when we look at the Ashlee Jenae case and we look at TMZ, they put out many articles about this case, right? So now let's see how many we got. We have 1, 2. They promoted the GoFundMe. They did an interview. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go back to the previous. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like 15 articles about this story. TMZ was on top of the case in terms of bringing visibility to the case. Not necessarily investigating the case the way I would, but they were giving visibility to the case. And if it wasn't for sites like TMZ and various other mainstream media platforms, nobody would know about a lot of these stories or developments, because a lot of times content creators, they look for mainstream media in order to get certain news, certain updates, and stuff like that. So the GoFundMe actually was promoted by TMZ. Like if we look here, the GoFundMe, influencer Ashlee's dad turns to GoFundMe over mountain course. Now, they promoted this thing on their page. This was published April 14th. So when we look at this, from April 14th, they were telling everybody about the GoFundMe. And a lot of people went to the GoFundMe because TMZ put the link there. So a lot of money was generated, and the family was able to get over $64,000. With that $64,000, the family never went to Zanzibar. They never went to Africa. They never sought justice for Ashlee. They never hired an investigator. They never did anything. So weeks and weeks passed. Her body was being butchered in Africa. They were doing autopsies and all sorts of stuff to her body. And basically, the family never got any autopsy results, even till this day, which is a red flag. And a lot of y'all have to pay attention to the timeline of events, because with the way this case is going, my apologies, all these ads on the screen. Let me get out of here. When it comes to all of these, whatchamacallit, these different situations that's developing with this story, I don't want you guys to get lost in the sauce. And shout out to everybody coming in the building. Be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Shout out to Caramel, Kimmy Kim. I see you in the building. Let me see who else we have here. Let's see. We got Show Shao. What's going on? And shout out to everybody in the building. Everybody that's showing up. Appreciate everybody stopping by. I need for everybody to pretty much pay attention to the timeline of events, because normally in a case like this is where it takes a crazy turn and we start to see new developments. Now, for starters, what I believe is coming down the pipeline is that TMZ is going to do more updates in regards to Joe McCann. Joe McCann understands that the case has been dragged for a while. And what's helping Joe McCann in this particular case, if I can add, is the fact that a lot of YouTubers were lying and spreading a lot of false information. This is actually going to be in his favor. Even though I believe Joe McCann is guilty, at the same time, I want to be fair and balanced in my approach. I can have my opinion based on what I believe. I believe there was some foul play. At the same time, I need for the viewer to understand how social media influencers ruin the Ashlee Jenae's investigation. A lot of influencers are focused only on making money. They really don't have the desire to solve a case. A lot of them, they piggyback off of one another. When you watch their videos, it's like you're watching a repetitive talk show of the same routine. What I do here at Ringo TV Reactions, I go into details of things that nobody's talking about to kind of get the viewer to think about what's happening here. Joe McCann has an attorney now, guys. Joe McCann had that attorney from the day that Ashlee was pronounced dead. And the reason being is, even if he have involvement, a normal, rational thinking person that committed a crime know that it's not going to look good in his favor. So he has to lawyer up. Another thing is, we're wondering, okay, why did Joe stay quiet the whole time? Because his attorney told him to do that. His attorney had to advise him. Because, you know, normally under normal circumstances, when we're being talked about, the first thing you want to do is defend yourself. His attorney told him, don't speak. And he kept quiet for weeks. And in the process of that, a lot of YouTubers were spreading lies. They were talking about his personal finance. They was talking about previous marriages, what kind of children he had, business deals gone wrong. They were just saying all sorts of stuff, that he's in Zanzibar in Africa with a bunch of women having freak offs. These are the things that YouTuber Fumi Delavoid was saying, Trent was saying, various other content scavengers and content misinformation speakers. These folks were spreading a lot of lies. And because of this, his attorney was just, I guess, calculating all the lies, everything that everybody was saying, and was basically just telling Joe, look, you see how the people dogging you out? You see how the people trashing your name? Let them talk. Let them continue to do that. In the end, what we're going to play is we're going to play the race card. We're going to play that you're being given death threats. We're going to say that online they're talking a lot of negative things about you when you're a grieving fiance. And when we look at it today, it's actually working in his favor. And the reason being is because of these influencers that been riling the people up with a bunch of hearsay, gossip, and rumors. That's why when you come here, I don't focus on gossip. I focus on actual factual information. And if I'm speculating, I make that very clear that we're only speculating. It doesn't mean that it's a fact. We're just kind of trying to put the puzzle together. Which brings us to the situation that where we're at right now with Ashlee's mom. She did in fact told us a lie, guys, and we have to acknowledge that. Even though I agree that Joe is guilty, in my opinion, we cannot lie about the obvious. Um, Ashlee's mom lied about very important information that caused a multitude of viewers to think that Joe never reached out, that Joe was just a cold-hearted monster who once Ashlee passed away, that he just stayed quiet and never wanted to talk to the family. And that's not true, guys. And I believe that in the coming weeks, we're going to see TMZ drop a lot of receipts that will substantiate the things that Joe and his attorney is putting out there. Now, be very careful listening to people like Trent. Trent is a gossiper, guys. Trent is just like Fumi Delavoid, whatever her name is, however you pronounce that garbage. These people lie every day, and they do it for money. That's all they do it for, guys. Trent is telling you guys that Joe is paying TMZ millions of dollars. Where's the evidence of that? You get what I'm saying? Like paying millions of dollars? No. And he's saying it as though it's a fact. It's one thing to say, well, allegedly Joe may be, probably cutting TMZ a check in order to run these articles to help him. But at the same time, you got to understand that's not how it works. It don't work like that, guys. You just can't come with a check and say, hey, TMZ, I want you to lie for me. TMZ would be in hot water. You just can't do that in media business. TMZ have their own attorneys. They would not tolerate that. TMZ is protected by a lot of powerful attorneys that are in the background making sure that their company is run a certain way. So when you hear influencers tell you stuff like TMZ is paying this one and that one, these are all lies. And you don't want to get mixed up in that kind of gossip. What TMZ is doing right now, guys, is they're giving airtime to Joe. And it's not because they favor Joe. This is what I want the viewers to understand, because we're going to review Trent's video later on today, possibly in the evening, like towards the night. But Trent in his video is suggesting that TMZ is working with Joe McCann. That's not true, guys. TMZ was working with Ashlee's family the whole time, and not necessarily working with them per se, as if though TMZ just said, hey, I want to work with you to go against Joe. TMZ is a media site, so they're neutral. They're not working with nobody. They're here for the story. They're here for the update. Ashlee's family rejected TMZ at the funeral. TMZ came to the funeral based on what Trent said in his video, because he was the only one who was at the funeral being nosy, basically trying to monetize Ashlee's funeral for cash, which is actually sick. But this is the thirst that a lot of influencers have for success. So when TMZ was there, according to Trent, it says that they rejected TMZ. That was Ashlee's family opportunity to get the story out there. Up to now, ladies and gentlemen, we have not heard word from Ashlee's father or Ashlee's mother publicly saying that we believe that Joe McCann have something to do with our daughter's passing. These are the type of things that none of these YouTubers are talking about, because all of them are literally in this not because they're trying to solve the case. They're in this for money. So they're not going to ask the questions that Ringo TV would ask. This is why Fumi Delavoid sent me 3 copyright strikes trying to cancel me falsely with falsehood and lies. That's why I told you guys you should not be listening to these people. Anybody that's filing copyright claims, trying to silence another YouTuber from bringing justice to Ashlee, you got to turn those people off, guys. Like, if you're sub to these people, unfollow these people. Don't give them not a click. Don't give them a view, because you hold the power. Each and every one of you viewers that are viewing this show right now, I am grateful that you even choose to view. I want you to know this, very important. You hold all the power, not the content creator. I'm at the mercy of the viewer. If you decide you don't want to watch, that hurts me. You get what I'm saying? So coming on here to lie, manipulate, try to deceive the viewer, that's not my purpose. All these other YouTubers, they're lying to you. Never reward liars, people that spread rumors and gossip. And it's like they're not fighting for Ashlee's justice. They're fighting for a check, or they're fighting to silence other YouTubers by filing copyright claims. Even though I don't agree with these YouTubers, I would never resort to filing anything. Why would I be reporting people for? Think about this, guys. Fumi Delavoid reported my platform with false copyright claims to silence me, right? Did she apply that energy to Joe McCann? No. Did she do anything to stop Joe McCann's personal finance? No. Did Fumi do anything to silence this man? Of course not. Nothing. So why am I a target, guys? It's because I'm speaking the truth. And when you speak the truth, it offends people and they resort to doing ungodly things. We need to know, guys, why Ashlee's family is not as diligent as Ringo TV when it comes to this investigation. How is it that a mother and a father can be silent and not publicly say that they believe that that man unalived their daughter? Because if the family is not saying this, then why are we focused on Joe McCann? Now, hear me out. Don't be too quick to throw the stones and, pull out a knife or a blade. Think about what I'm saying. If the mother is not publicly saying that she believed this man did it, and she wants the public to back her and her family up against this guy, then why are we focused on him? We're focused on him, and the family is not, guys. Like, let's make sense of this. We have to look at this for what it is. Why the family is not focusing on Joe and publicly making this very clear. We believe Joe McCann had something to do with our daughter's death. There's nothing wrong with saying that, but why they're not saying it? And another thing, I get it that she's the biological mother, the father of Ashlee's the biological father, but I don't like saying mother and father. Let me explain why. The reason why I don't like saying mother and father is because they're not together. They're not together, guys. She married a white man, or been with a white man, from about 2004. From 2004, she been with a white man. On her Instagram page, those receipts are clearly there. On her Instagram page, you see her and the so-called man that she's supposedly supposed to be with. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. This is supposed to be an Instagram photo of the mother, and it says 22 years and counting. So for 22 years, she been with the white man. So when you factor that into play, guys, Ashlee was about 9 years old when the mother got with this guy. She was not with her biological father. They were not together in a happy home together. The mother and the father of Ashlee was already separated. We're talking about when Ashlee was like 8 or 9 years old. So she really wasn't raised in the same household. So it was one of them things where one minute she might be with the dad, next minute she might be with the mom. The house was not a stable household, guys. So when you look at the family today and you think, oh, the family is fighting for Ashlee's justice, we're talking about two separate homes. Two separate homes. Ashlee's mother, she got with the white man. She had no concern with that man in terms of Ashlee's biological father. She did not like him. You have to understand this, guys. They were not friends. They were not cool. They were separate. When you look at the news media and you see them all together, for example, let me show you this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it, guys? Give me a minute. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, this is supposed to be the TMZ interview, right? Now, when you look at this, right? Notice they put Ashlee's father right here, Ashlee's mother here. If you look at her face, she really don't want to be there. Why they put them like this? You see that? Because for us, it made all of us believe that these two were together. If you go back to my first video when I reacted to this, I didn't know he was married to her. I thought they were together. I thought this was her husband and that's just some family friends or something like that. But to come to find out, that's his new wife. That's her husband. You see that? They've been separated way back. We're talking about early 2000. Understand? Because she got with him in 2004. 2004. Ashlee was born around 1995, somewhere around there. So when you look at this family, it was not a happy home. Don't let this fool you. Don't let that fool you. They were not close. So when Ashlee passed away, it was a major uh it was a major shock, not in the sense of they couldn't believe it happened. It actually brought them back together because nobody was talking. Just like a lot of you have family members right now that you don't even talk to, cousins you haven't talked to in years, aunts and uncles and people, you don't even talk to these people no more. But if somebody were to die in the family, all of a sudden there's a big family reunion and everybody's together. You see what I'm saying? So now, when you think about this, let me see what this person said. Ashlee wasn't married. What? Ashlee wasn't married to Joe. Legally, her parents would be next of kin. I feel like if her parents pushed a little harder, they can get autopsy results if they was one perform. They can't get anything right now, guys. The family, as I told you throughout my videos, and I don't change what I say, the family don't care about any of this stuff. The family is not fighting for Ashlee's justice. They took that GoFundMe money and they used that for personal use. The money was never used for them to travel to Africa. They never traveled. They never gave you no updates on what the money is being used for. You just gave them a bunch of money, you know? And I've seen these type of cases happen many times. The family just don't care. Just like a lot of you have family who don't care. And we got to look at it for what it is. Did the family go to Africa to fight? No. Did they go get the footage? No. That footage is long gone, guys. They're not getting that footage, fam. And if they do have the footage, then that's a miracle. Because when you think about camera footage, right? I'm not sure if a lot of you are familiar with it, but a lot of times camera footage only lasts a certain time. We're not talking about a sophisticated system that backs up every single thing. Nobody got hard drive space to waste like that. For example, those of you that got a Ring camera on your house or whatever the case is, Ring would back up your footage probably like 2 months, I believe, like 2 months, and then it'll disappear. But when you think about a hotel, it cycles the footage. So if let's say April 1st, so from like April 1st all the way to May, it'll probably back up on a DVR or whatever the case is, and then uh it'll disappear. It'll just overwrite the footage, and so that footage is probably gone already, guys, because the family is not doing nothing to get it. The day Ashlee was pronounced dead, the family was supposed to contact the embassy. They were supposed to be on an emergency flight to Africa in order to retrieve not only the footage in the hotel, if there are uh, cameras and whatnot, because you don't even know if those work. You know, again, when we think of security footage, we're thinking how we think in the United States. Out in these other countries, it may not be like that. They may not even have a camera for all we know. So it's like we don't even know what they got because nobody up to now have actual footage of the hotel, the resort, or anything like that. It ain't like how in the United States I can go and use Google and pull up the hotel and tour the hotel and stuff like that. Maybe that's possible. Maybe I might look at that. Maybe because when you think about it, a satellite camera, Google Earth might have such a thing. I don't know. I know in the United States we got that, where we could literally travel all over the United States via Google Map and go to the hotel ourselves. And you could literally walk around via Google and see what's happening out there. We need to know if the camera footage actually is available. I doubt it because the family been dragging this thing too long, guys. You can't wait this long. Like this thing is going on for weeks and weeks, and it's time is very important. Once she died, the family was supposed to be on that plane. The reason why the family was not on that plane is because they really don't get along. This is for the camera. If you look at her face, she really don't want to be there. Let me see if I could do this real quick so I can show you exactly what I mean about her face, because a lot of y'all can't see it because of the screen. If you can, guys, be so kind to click the like button. Likes are very important, guys. Very important for the content. A lot of these YouTubers, they don't want me to cover the case. They're trying to silence me because I'm doing an excellent job in breaking all of this stuff down. I also make it very interesting for the viewer because I'm talking about things that nobody's really talking about. So now let me see if I could do this right here. Give me a minute, guys, so I can do this real fast. Get off camera for a second, guys. Let's see. Where is that image? Okay, here we go. We got the image here. All right. So now let me get back on camera here. All right, here we go. So now let me show you this here so you can see how the mother and the father look, right? If you look at her face, right? Look at how these two are sitting next to each other, right? Let me make this closer. You see her face, all right? Do you see his face? She don't really want to be there, guys. She do not want to be next to him, but they don't talk. They don't. They don't call each other every day. Hey, how you doing, babe? Hey, remember how we used to be in love? No, because she got a man. Do you understand? You ladies that have a man, right? If you got a new man right now and your baby daddy or your ex, you're no longer with him. Y'all don't communicate the way y'all used to. You got a whole new life that you're living right now. So once you understand that, these two were not really close. So when you look at this interview, that's why it was so awkward when TMZ was talking to them. They didn't even know how to answer questions properly because it just didn't seem natural. It felt fake. We're going to go back to that interview and we're going to get into the lie that the mother put out there, because one lie changes the whole story. Because again, we were told that Joe ghosted the family and didn't communicate. Joe's attorney came back to TMZ to tell them, look, my client was left on red. Red. The mother did that to Joe. So even though we believe Joe is guilty, even though we believe Joe had something to do with Ashlee's death, we over here, we're not going to lie and make up some new story. And what I'm trying to make you understand is how TMZ work. TMZ will tell you things that they have the receipts for, meaning TMZ is not going to publish a story and say that Joe said he was left on red by the mother if TMZ don't have the evidence that that's so. You get it? So Joe's attorney most likely already showed TMZ the receipt showing the text message that he sent the family and how the mother, if they do, why they didn't put it out yet? They don't have to put it out yet. They're a media company. Their job is to see what they're going to do, how they're going to play their hand. Because in order for Joe to walk scot-free and not be charged with murder, he need information that clears him. Because the media, on social media, excuse me, they've been saying a lot of things that he wasn't communicating with the family. And the only reason why a lot of people were saying that is because of what the family put out there. The family said this, and we believed it. And being that they lost a daughter, a young black woman, 31, just finished celebrating her birthday, we're going to believe it. Even though we didn't have proof, but we're going to take their word for it. I mean, why would they lie, right? Well, why would Joe's attorney come forward and say that their client did, in fact, reach out to the family and was trying to have a dialogue with them, but the family rejected Joe? That's going to work in Joe's favor because they have that receipt. And that's going to prove that Joe did try to share his thoughts or what he felt, and he wasn't allowed that. So what do you think he's going to do? Just fall back. And he probably contacted his attorney in advance, and his attorney said, listen, reach out to them. Send them a message. We don't know what he said in the message. We don't know. But all of that is going to come out soon. It's going to come out soon. Now, it's kind of, it's like this is in a bad situation now because the family is not fighting for Ashlee. They keep talking about, oh, we have an independent autopsy. Okay, where's the results? Where's the results, guys? Where is it? Where's the autopsy from Zanzibar? Where's the autopsy from the United States? They didn't even bury Ashlee. Ashlee wasn't even buried yet, guys. Remember, Trent told you that in his video. Trent said there won't be no burial. She's not being laid to rest. So they got Ashlee's body stored somewhere for whatever reason. I don't know. But they didn't put her underground. That's kind of weird to have a funeral, but you didn't put her underground yet. Why not? If you already got the independent autopsy, there's no reason to hold on to the body anymore. You already got the autopsy results. Now, I told you guys in countless videos that any autopsy that is done to Ashlee's body in the United States, it has already been compromised already, guys. The way it was supposed to be was the family was supposed to get a hold. Listen, man, think about how fast that GoFundMe money was raised. The family was supposed to contact Zanzibar immediately once the report came out. Don't apply no autopsy, nothing. We want that done in the United States. We don't want nobody tampering with her body. You understand? That's what they were supposed to do. Once that body was tampered with in Africa, those organs were tampered with. I'm the only YouTuber that made this very clear, that I believe Ashlee's organs were compromised. I don't trust nothing that's going on out there because based on everything that we've heard, there's a lot of corruption out there. This is why Fumi Delavoid filed 3 copyright claims against my videos talking about her because she was the one who said that the family need to use the US dollar GoFundMe to bribe people in Africa in order to get the truth. This is what Fumi suggested, that Ashlee's family need to bribe people. And she said the only way you can get results in Africa is you have to bribe. And when I heard that, that was a red flag. And that's when I knew that Fumi was a part of some sort of evil because she's promoting evil. She's promoting you need to bribe people in order to get results. And if that's how things are, if that's how you get results in Africa, how could you trust an autopsy? How can you trust the official news story? How do I know they're telling the truth if there's so much corruption? Right? So the family was supposed to go out there by having the backing of the United States. Now, I don't know what kind of treaties the United States have with Zanzibar or whatever in that region. I don't know if Americans are protected or there's certain things that are in place that in case something happened, an American will get justice. I don't know. At the same time, the family was supposed to be on a plane out there, boots on the ground, in that hotel, screaming at the top of their lungs and getting the footage, getting her engagement ring. And you know, the engagement ring thing is it's not important, guys. It really is not. I mean, we can speculate, we can say whatever. Engagements, rings, it's not important. What's important is Ashley's cell phone. That's what's important. Because we know Joe most likely have the engagement ring, right? And I mean, it is what it is. What we want is the cell phone. Who had the cell phone? Because if Joe was granted to come back to the United States, surely he's going to take Ashley's personal belongings, right? Why would he leave it over there? Right? That don't make no sense. You see? Let me see that comment. Somebody says, you don't bribe people to tell the truth. You bribe people to lie. Fumi is a total idiot. Yeah, that's the reason why I had to call it out, because in my mind, I'm like, when have you ever bribed someone to tell the truth? Like, that don't even make no sense. And when I called it out, it made her look bad. That's why she flagged my videos with a false copyright claim. You know what I mean? She's going to pay for all of that. All of that stuff she's going to pay for. Trust and believe that. She's going to pay. She thinks this is over. This is not over. She's going to get dealt with for that because that was wrong. And I don't suggest anybody follow that woman. Don't give her not one view. Remember, guys, you the people, you hold all the power on social media. You hold the power, not the content creator. The content creator don't have no power, guys. I might make good content, but if the people don't rock with me, I'm done. You see what I mean? Remember when Chris Brown beat up Rihanna? What happened to him? He lost all support for a moment. Now, Chris Brown is extremely talented, very talented guy. At the same time, when he did that, it infuriated the people and they pulled all support from him. He started to suffer. Remember when him and his mother came on the news? This is way back in the day. And they made Chris Brown apologize. He was like, I'm truly, truly sorry. You know, I'm trying to get myself together. He was a teenager still. You see what I'm saying? Or something like that. I'm not sure if he's a teenager in his early 20s. I'm not sure. I think he was a teenager, somewhere around there. And then over time, he started to win back the favor with the people. So you, the people, hold all the power. You're the algorithm. When you see YouTubers lying and manipulating stories, don't give them a click. Don't give them a view. Nothing. What Fumi did to me is criminal, guys. You should be angry just by the thought of her filing 3 copyright claims, trying to silence me and terminate my channel, guys. All because I'm speaking about this case and I'm trying to bring justice to Ashlee and make sense of all of this information. So now, moving on, guys. So this is the family photo there. I wanted you to see that. So you can see that the mother is angry. You can tell that she don't want to be there and whatnot. So now, what I want to talk about in this video is the lie that the mother put out there. That's what I want to talk about. Now, this interview is the interview that TMZ put out there, and I want to talk about this as well as a little bit more information. Let me see if I got this. Let me see. Is this it? No, that's not it. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me see. Let me check this thing real fast. See if this is what I'm looking for. That's the GoFundMe. That's not what I'm really looking for. Okay. Let me go back here. I kind of lost the page. And you can't be so kind, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Very, very important. All right. So now let's get back and do this, right? You said, so Fumi makes money predicting what? Predicting the future as if she's God. I keep telling everybody, don't follow that woman because she's a liar. And she don't even have no content. All she do is react to other YouTubers and she just repeat what they say. So if a YouTuber made a video about the Ashlee case, she just repeats what they already said. And she just sits there and plays their video and there's no content. You see like how you see me talking, guys? I'm sharing my thoughts, my mind. If I react to a video, I'm sharing my thoughts, my mind. I'm not just regurgitating what somebody already said. That's not content, guys. That's somebody that is just mimicking what someone else already did. So now, according to TMZ, we talked about this the other day. It says influencer Ashlee Jenae's fiance text her mother was allegedly left on red. Very, very strong statement. Now, why is TMZ putting this out there? They're not putting it out there, guys, because they're working with Joe. TMZ is a media company that put out news, entertainment news, political stuff, whatever it is. They put all of that stuff out there, right? Now, what we got to get from this is this. Ashlee's family embarrassed TMZ at the funeral. When they came down there, that was the family's opportunity to come outside and say, hey, TMZ, hey, thank you guys for the news coverage, for helping spread the word. If you guys would like an interview, we can set one up right now. That would be great. Appreciate you guys coming down to the funeral. Instead, they rejected them. That embarrassed TMZ, probably made them feel some type of way because it's like, if you guys are seeking justice, we're literally trying to open up the door for you, provide resources that could get the word out. Once they were rejected, TMZ is still a business, guys. They're going to reach out to Joe. You get what I'm saying? For his side of the story. Since the family don't want to talk, since the family just want to stay quiet, I don't know how the family is going to do an investigation without media. You need media. You need somebody to get these stories out there, you know? So they reach out to Joe. Joe's attorney probably reached out to them. Either way, they wanted to get down to the bottom of this in terms of where is Joe McCann. And they were able to get the information. And Joe McCann and his people pretty much made it very clear that they did, in fact, try to reach out to the family. And if you notice in the image that's there, that's showing the very same interview that the family had with TMZ. So that means that the family lied to TMZ in that interview, right? So it goes on and says Ashlee Jenae's fiance, Joe McCann, tried reaching out to her family after her death, but the communication basically hit a wall immediately after. Now, the reason why, guys, this is very important. And again, we have to what we got to do when we listen to this is let's hold back our judgment against Joe momentarily. I believe Joe took Ashlee out. That's what I believe. That's what a lot of you believe. At the same time, what we're trying to establish here is credibility. Credibility in terms of who's lying, who's telling the truth. That's what we have to do. Because in order for Joe to go to prison for life, for murder, we're going to need evidence that's going to tie him to the crime scene. This is what a lot of people don't understand. Investigations, solving a case, evidence must be brought forth that ties Joe to the murder. If we can't do that, Joe is not going to no prison, guys. He's going to go home, he's going to relax, and it is what it is. Now, it says that Ashlee's fiance, Joe McCann, tried reaching out to her family after her death, but communication basically hit a wall immediately afterward. Joe's lawyer. Now, once you hear Joe's lawyer, did we hear anything about a lawyer from Ashlee Jenae's family? I'll wait. We haven't heard nothing. Do they have an attorney? Nothing. That's crazy, guys. How is it that Joe has an attorney already working for him and Ashlee's family don't have no representation? Come on, y'all. This is why when you come to Ringo TV, I'm trying to give you guys information that nobody's talking about to make you think. If the family of Ashlee is fighting for her justice, they're supposed to have 2 lawyers, an investigator. They're supposed to have somebody in Africa that they're communicating with, an interpreter. The ball got to be rolling, guys, quickly. Joe is 10 steps ahead than Ashlee's family because he's lawyered up and he's getting legal counsel right now that is going to help protect him in the long run. You don't think that Joe's attorney is giving him major advice on the possibilities of what can happen in the case? Could he get arrested? Could he get charged? His attorney is educating him like never before. What is Ashlee family doing right now? They're not even using your GoFundMe money that you gave them. They didn't hire nobody. What news report have we gotten from Ashlee's family that gave us an update that they hired an investigator, they got an attorney that's representing the family? Have we seen any media coverage of Ashlee's family and their attorney speaking on television? Nothing. Nothing, guys. That should concern you. That should make you say, wow, I didn't think of that, Ringo. You're right. Where is their attorney? How come Joe got one and Ashlee's family, the ones who should have an attorney, they don't got anything? So what investigation are they doing? How? You don't got an attorney. You don't have no investigator. There's no news update. You're rejecting the media from being at the funeral, which is crazy. If it's a public funeral, why would you reject TMZ? No, that don't make no sense. Kathy says maybe they are keeping information to themselves and I guess not speaking. No, that's not how it works. We're talking about an investigation, something that is public, something that is open. You can't just be keeping everything quiet. Joe is not. Joe's attorney is out there. Joe's attorney is speaking for him, which means his attorney is prepared for war. You understand? And it also means that Joe is paying him good money. Ashlee's family have no representation right now. There is no information online pointing the people that there's an investigation going on. Nothing. We keep hearing this, oh, there's an ongoing investigation. Okay, where's the updates? Where's the updates? Because the people want to know what's going on. The public want to know what's happening. You know, that's what we got news media for. We got news media because their job is to give us updates. We have YouTubers like myself who give you updates, who talk about the stories in order to keep the people interest in the content, to keep the investigation going, at least from a social media standpoint. There's more happening on my platform in regards to this case than Ashlee's family. You go to their social media pages, nothing is there. Nothing. So what are they doing? Who's the target? Who murdered Ashlee? The family have never publicly came out and said, we believe Joe McCann did this. They never did, guys. So it goes on and it says, Joe's lawyer, Edward Andrew Palzik, tells TMZ Ashlee's mother, Yolanda, texts Joe asking what happened on April 9th, shortly after Ashlee died in Tanzania. Now, this is interesting because it looks like the mother contacted Joe first. You see that? It says Yolanda. It didn't say Ashlee's father. What we're establishing here, guys, is who cared about Ashlee more. It seems as if though the mother cared about Ashlee more than the father, because they don't say that the father texts Joe. So what this tells me in my investigation is that Yolanda had Joe's personal phone number. Ashlee's father did not. Do you see that? Because it didn't say that Ashlee's father texted Joe. The mother did. She texts Joe asking what happened on April 9th, shortly after Ashlee died in Tanzania. And despite being completely crushed by her death, Joe responded promptly and appropriately. Now, let's park the car right there, guys. Now, again, I believe Joe took Ashlee out. That's my personal opinion. It is what it is. At the same time, what I want you, the viewer, to gain from this is keywords. Because what if it comes out? Now, again, I believe Joe took Ashlee out. What if it's proven? What if it's proven that Joe didn't do anything? Again, don't come to me with any hate. I'm just trying to get you guys to think. What if it comes out with all the investigation, camera footage, this, that, all this stuff, that man was nowhere around? Then what? Who we gonna blame? This is why investigations is very important, because I can have my personal opinion of what I think of Joe. At the same time, only evidence is what's going to put him in prison, not YouTube videos or what we think. Evidence. That's why we want to investigate this case properly. Now, watch what this sentence says, guys. Joe responded promptly and appropriately. Let me see if I can do this, because y'all can't even see it, but that's the largest it could go, right? You still can't see it because the screen is white. You're hearing me. But it says that Joe responded promptly and appropriately. You see that? So that means there is a text message that's on Joe's phone showing that he promptly responded to Ashlee's mom. Quickly, promptly, quickly, right away. And meaning, as soon as the text came in, he responded back. So the timestamps is going to show. It's going to show when Ashlee's mother sent the text and how fast Joe responded. But notice that last word, appropriately. So that means whatever Joe said back to the mother was appropriate based on the situation. All of that is going to come out later on, guys. So we may end up getting a text message. You know how TMZ do it. You know how they do. They're going to get this text message and they're going to publish it. And when we read it, we might end up being blown away because we're going to be like, damn, Joe actually did respond appropriately. Now again, in our mind, we think he's a horrible person. We think he did it. We think we believe whatever we believe. It is what it is. That's public opinion. But when the facts start coming in, that's when the puzzles start coming together and things start to change real fast, right? So now it says, but according to Joe's side, Yolanda never replied back. And he says he hasn't heard from the family since. So Joe is basically saying, look, the family is saying that I haven't spoke to them. That's a lie. I did. Joe is saying the family won't respond to him. That's what he's saying. And we just can't sit back and act like we ain't seeing this, because if TMZ is reporting this, trust and believe, receipts was shown, guys. They're not just going to show this and the receipts aren't there. The receipts are going to come forth sooner or later. And that is going to change the whole direction of this case, guys. It says, we're told Joe understands Ashlee's loved ones are grieving and may not be ready to accept what authorities currently believe happened, that Ashlee died by S word. I personally don't believe that Ashlee took her own life, but this is what Joe is saying on his end. Joe chose not to follow up again because he wanted to respect the family's silence and give them space to grieve, though he absolutely would have responded had Yolanda text him again. So based on what we're getting here, guys, from Joe's side is this. Yolanda reached out to him. He promptly responded back. She didn't like what he said, and she stopped communicating. At that point, Joe was like, you know what? I don't know why you are ghosting me. I'm just going to stay quiet. Now, I ain't going to hold you. If I text you and you don't respond back, I'm never writing you. I'm never going to write you, because at that moment, I'm like, why you ain't texting me back? I just told you about Ashlee. I just told you about what's going on, and you ain't texting me back. What do you want me to do? Keep texting? Keep calling? That's not how it works, guys. The mom was supposed to respond back to that man. And if she didn't, and she came into the public and told the world that Joe left the family on ghost, like just didn't respond to them, that's a lie. And that is why the majority of us believe that Joe just stayed quiet the whole time and didn't communicate with nobody. But what's interesting about this, guys, is this. We got this info of text messaging, right? But why the media put out information as if though Joe was talking on the phone with the mother? Remember? They said that Joe said something along the lines of, oh, Ashlee is good. We're taking her to the hospital. Was it a phone call or was it just text messaging? And you know, why would the family be texting Joe when they could just call him? Why would they be texting him? why would Yolanda text Joe in such an emergency? I don't got time to wait for no damn text. I'm calling you. So what we need to know is the timeline of what happened. Was there an actual phone call between Joe and the mother, or just text messages? See, guys, on other YouTube platforms, they don't talk about this stuff. This is why I tell you guys, Ringo TV reactions, #1 source regarding the Ashlee Jenae case. Because we're talking about things that nobody talks about. We don't copy nobody. We don't regurgitate garbage. We don't spread no rumors and lies. We just think out the box and try to make sense of things that that would make sense. Was Ashlee's mother and Joe's communication only via text, or did it involve a phone call? Because if it was only text messaging, then that don't even make sense. Like, why would you be texting somebody and your daughter is dead? I'm not texting, I'm calling you, FaceTiming you, screaming and flipping. What's going on? Show me what's going on. Because here's the thing. If Joe, this is why I'm saying, guys, like, put this in your mind and think. Joe finds Ashlee's body. She's hanging. Fam, I'm calling the mom, dad, everybody. I'm FaceTiming. Look at Ashlee. What happened? I'm flipping. I'm going to be losing my mind. FaceTiming the family. That way, it's on record. Like, yo, look at that way they can see what I see. This doesn't make sense. You know? Why would you be texting? Why would the mother, because this is what it says, guys. I try to put things together. It says that Yolanda texts Joe asking what happened on April 9th, shortly after Ashlee died. How could the mother know? How could the mother have known that Ashlee died so quickly? And she texts Joe first. So Joe didn't text her? That don't make sense, man. How could the mother text him first? Shouldn't he be texting first or calling first? It don't make sense. Because it says that the mother texts Joe asking what happened on April 9th. Well, surely the mother should know what happened, right? Because if she asks Joe what happened, the media most likely already put out the info, which made the mother know that an influencer, Ashlee, whatever, Zanzibar, dead. So the mother quickly contacts Joe. What happened? Okay. It says that Joe responded back to her promptly and appropriately. So he most likely told her what happened. And this was all on April 9th, shortly after Ashlee died in Tanzania, right? So now, let me go back to this section here where it says Joe chose not to follow up again because he wanted to respect the family's silence and give them space to grieve, though he absolutely would have responded had Yolanda text him again. Now, what this does, it helps Joe, because what it says is he tried to reach out to the family, but they rejected him. They didn't even want to hear from him. And even at the funeral, they rejected Joe. TMZ reported on that Joe was not invited, guys. So that tells me that the family had an issue with Joe. My thing is this. Even though I believe that Joe unalived Ashlee, I feel that the family should have invited him to the funeral. The funeral was a public funeral. Anybody could come there. So why would you not invite Joe if Joe got the answers to the puzzle? All right? Or invite his family. Because here's the thing. TMZ just told us that Joe is now able to come to the United States. So based on that, Joe wasn't even in the United States to come to the funeral. So why would the family not invite him if he couldn't even make it? He just got released. You get it? So why would the family put out that they're not inviting Joe when they already know he couldn't even make it? That is nasty work, because it's painting a narrative that Joe is in the United States and he's not invited because the family's upset with him, or we don't want to invite him because he's not showing us no diligence, that he's calling us and whatnot and all this other stuff, when he's actually was in Africa the whole time. So why would the family not invite him if they already know that he's in Africa and he can't even make it, even if he wanted to? You know? So him staying quiet, I don't see it as a bad thing now when you have the information that's coming in at the news desk. Even though I still believe he had something to do with her death, I understand now why the silence. I understand now, because again, you got to put yourself in his position. Now, I have to keep repeating myself because sometimes new viewers will come in and they'll think I'm defending Joe. Let me shout out these super chats real fast, guys. Shout out to Tanya for the $2 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Shout out to Virgil for the 2. Says, in a phone call, you can feel the emotion. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes people don't even use the phone because they don't want to, I guess, expose their intentions or what's going on with their heart. Shout out to Virgil again for the support. Says, maybe they are hiding behind the keyboard. I don't know, man. Like I said, we're just trying to put this puzzle together because I don't trust the family of Ashlee. I told you guys this from the start, that they're moving kind of shady, and they don't appear to be fighting for her justice. I'm doing more work for Ashlee than her own father, you know? And I got 4 daughters. I'm a girl dad. I got all girls, 4 girls. So when I look at this case, I look at the Ashlee situation, it's a serious thing for me. So I'm trying to figure out why Ashlee's father is not as passionate about his own daughter, and that's his elder daughter. So it's like, what are you doing? I don't even see that man in front of the news, nothing, you know? So moving on, it says, we're told Joe understands Ashlee's loved ones are grieving and may not be ready to accept what authorities currently believe happened. Now, this is the problem that I have with Joe. Joe believes the official story that Ashlee took her life. That's a red flag for me. That's why I believe he's a suspect. Because the family, even though I don't trust the family, at least they don't believe Ashlee would take her life. Got to give them credit for that. But for Joe to be engaged to her, known her for about a year, they lived with each other, right? Why would you believe that official story if you know Ashlee wouldn't do that? What would drive Ashlee to want to unalive herself? A basic, simple argument? No, something else happened. Ashlee was murdered. No doubt about it. Ashlee was murdered in Africa. So, in my opinion, Joe is a suspect not only because of the way he's moving, but by the pure fact he's not even fighting for Ashlee's justice. Joe is not even saying we need to get the footage from Zanzibar so y'all could prove and show. Let me get the footage for the family, or let me send Ashlee's phone. Like, we don't see nothing from Joe that is gonna make us believe that he's trying to help solve the crime, because maybe Joe was set up. Maybe a third party, follow me. Maybe a third party that don't like Joe followed Joe and Ashlee to Africa, or knew they were in Africa, and they wanted to frame Joe with a murder to destroy him. My thing is, why Joe is not looking at this situation and saying, damn, maybe somebody murdered Ashlee. Why would Ashlee take her own life? A real fiance that knows his woman wouldn't just believe that story. So when it writes on TMZ that we're told Joe understand Ashlee's loved ones are grieving and may not be ready to accept what authorities currently believe, that Ashlee died by S word, that right there speaks volumes that Joe believes the official story. So that means that Joe don't really know Ashlee like that. And that's a problem for me. Shout out to everybody that's joining in. Be sure, guys, to hit the like button. Let's get these likes to 1,000. As soon as you come in, hit the like button, guys. So it says Joe chose not to follow up again because he wanted to respect the family's silence and give them space to grieve, though he absolutely would have responded had Yolanda text him again. So what we're trying to figure out, guys, is, was the mother's communication with Joe only based on text messaging, or did they have an actual phone call? Because we're going to go back to the interview. We got to revisit the interview, guys, for clues. It says, we're told the family has always had Joe's contact info and could have reached out whenever they wanted, but never did. Do you see that? So the whole time the family is saying, we don't know what's going on with Joe. Joe is not this. They never reached out to Joe. But they made us believe that Joe wasn't reaching out to them. So it gave us the mindset that the family was reaching out and Joe was ignoring all the calls, guys. That is what I'm concerned with. Public perception. Most of you, matter of fact, with a show of ones, how many of you, based on your perception of the situation, believe that Ashlee's family was reaching out to Joe via phone calls, text messaging, but Joe was ignoring everything? Because that's what I was believing. That's what I believed. I'm like, damn, the family reaching out to this man, he's ignoring them? That's crazy. And look what it says. It says, we're also told the family has always had Joe's contact info and could have reached out whenever they wanted, but never did. Those are strong words, because now we're dealing with timestamps, phone records that could be pulled up, which can show that Ashlee Jenae's family never reached out to Joe. Never did. It says, as we previously reported, Joe was questioned by local investigators following Ashlee's death, and even had his passport seized during the investigation, though he has not been arrested or charged in connection with her death. Still, Ashlee family has since decided to prohibit Joe, watch this, prohibit Joe from attending her funeral. You see that? The family decided to prohibit Joe from the funeral. Now, let's look at timestamps. Let's look at dates, guys. When did TMZ publish this particular one? Well, this was a new update one, right? I'm trying to figure out why was TMZ rejected from the funeral? It must have been something TMZ said that got the family mad. And I think what it was when TMZ basically said that a source told them that the family didn't invite Joe. That was the reason why the family didn't allow TMZ at the funeral, because TMZ published that before the funeral. Let me see if I could do this. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. Let me see if I could do this. Give me a minute. Let me get off camera for a second and kind of do some more work so I could get the dates. I want to make sure I got the dates right. That way we're all on the same page. Give me a minute and I'll get back on camera in a second. I just want to make sure that our dates are correct, right? Where we at? Influencer family breaks the silence. Okay, here we go. All right, let me do this. Let's look at the dates. All right, so boom. Let me see. So this is their post that TMZ published. Influencer Ashlee Jenae, fiance, not invited to the funeral. That was published May 4th, 2026. Now, as you know, May 4th, if I'm correct, was the viewing, and then May 5th was the actual funeral. So TMZ published this, I guess, a little before. Well, they posted this way before the event took place. The family got note of that. They got upset. So when TMZ came down, they were rejected. They were rejected because the family didn't like the fact that TMZ made that post. You understand? So the reason why I'm putting that out there is so that we're all on the same page, understanding the timeline of events, right? So now, let's see what we got. Let me see. Okay. Still, Ashlee's family has since decided to prohibit Joe from attending her funeral regarding communication with Joe. But the thing is, Joe did communicate with the mother. The mother never responded. They rejected Joe from coming to the funeral because they're basically trying to make us believe that Joe didn't want to communicate with them. But that's a lie. Again, guys, I believe Joe took Ashlee out. I believe that. I do. I'm not defending Joe. What I'm trying to do, guys, is speak the truth. Only the truth matters. The truth. Because in order for Ashlee to get justice, truth got to be shared. The truth is Joe did reach out to the family. The family said he didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie. And they rejected Joe from the funeral. Why? Regarding communications with Joe. So the initial response that Joe gave the mother didn't like it. She didn't like. I don't know what Joe said. I believe in a few days or weeks, we're going to see that text message pop up on TMZ. Guaranteed, guys. TMZ is going to end up posting Joe's text message. I really feel that that's going to come out soon. Right? So it says, regarding communication with Joe, they claim Joe reached out once to tell them Ashlee was okay after being taken to a hospital. They allege he never contacted them again. That's what they allege. But what we're trying to do is get the timeline corrected, because if Joe, it says they claim Joe reached out once to tell them Ashlee was okay after being taken to a hospital. Now, that right there, guys, it don't sit right with me. Because if he contacted them to tell them that Ashlee was okay and they're taking her to the hospital, how'd she end up dead? Because the story goes as follows. They got into the room and she was unresponsive. If you're unresponsive, guys, that means that you're just laying on the floor or laying in a bed unresponsive. We're trying to wake you up and you can't wake up. It didn't say we walked in the room and she was hanging on a closet. They added these things to the story. You know? So it's not making any sense. Because if Joe said that Ashlee was okay, that means her vital signs was good. That means she was talking. That means that she was breathing. And that means that he knew she was going to pull through. So based on what I'm seeing, Ashlee was murdered at the hospital. Because if Joe said Ashlee is good, we're taking her to the hospital, that's where they ended her life. How could Ashlee S word that rhymed with homicide if Ashlee was okay according to Joe and she was taken to a hospital? If she was taken to a hospital, she never unalived herself. So why would the police say that? If it was unsuccessful and it didn't work, we cannot say she died by S word because she didn't. It don't make no sense. So they're lying about the whole story. She died in the hospital. And for all I know, they probably killed her in the hospital to get her organs. Just like I told you guys. A lot of you may not want to accept that, but I don't trust nothing that's going on out there in Tanzania. I don't trust nothing, guys. All the corruption and all the things that I've heard thus far, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't believe nothing they're saying over there. Once they started tampering with Ashlee's body, her organs were compromised, guys. They were compromised. So even if they sent the body back to the United States, ain't no telling what they did to her body, what parts are missing, what parts they added into her body that weren't there from the beginning. They could take her heart, put in an old one. They could take out kidneys, put in something else. They could take this out, put something in. Ain't no telling what's going on. The family was supposed to give the public an update in regards to autopsy. Was her organs intact? Did they investigate her body? What's going on, guys? Did they sell her organs? Did the family sell her organs? Guys, when I tell you this story is so wicked, man, because the family is not telling us what's going on. Ain't no telling what was done to Ashlee's body. Family could be the most wicked. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It be your own family sometimes. They be the worst ones. They be the ones that gossip about you, lie on you, manipulate, steal from you, kick you out. They never there for you when you need them. Serious, man. So let me get back to this. So it says we've reached out to Ashlee's parents, Harry and Yolanda. So far, no word back. Now you see that. TMZ, a media company, reached out to Ashlee's parents. They didn't even reach back. They gave them the same treatment they gave Joe. You see what I mean? So the question you guys have to ask is this. If the family is really seeking justice, why they're not communicating with TMZ? But YouTuber Trent want you guys to believe that the family's communicating with him. Why would the family communicate with Trent, a YouTuber, over TMZ? Who's going to get more reach? Trent? A gossiper? No. TMZ is going to get that word out fast. Very, very fast. The whole world going to know about it. So I'm trying to figure out why the family didn't do another interview, more updates, speak on the issue, because you know why they didn't reach back? Because the family is lying, guys. They're lying. And once you're caught in a lie, TMZ is going to come for you now. Because if God forbid, if I was in a situation like that, I'm reaching out to all media companies. I'm sitting down with TMZ every day, giving them new updates every day, because I'm trying to bring justice and clarity to a situation that's really affecting my family. So now let's switch gears, guys. Let's switch gears and check out the interview so we can hear the lie. right? Let's do that. Let's check out the interview and hear what was said here now. So again, this particular interview comes out of TMZ, right? TMZ, and we're going to pretty much share our commentary and criticism about this. We already covered this, guys, but we want to revisit this because there's so much information into how TMZ was trying to work with the family. This is why I'm telling you guys, don't listen to that guy named Trent on YouTube, because he's going around saying that TMZ was paid by Joe to work with him for whatever reason, which is untrue, guys. It's untrue. It's false. It's gossip, rumors. Never listen to that type of garbage. Right here, TMZ was interviewing the family. If TMZ didn't do this interview, we wouldn't even know nothing. So TMZ was giving Ashlee's family opportunity to get the story out, to get the word out. And Ashlee's family fumbled the ball. They rejected the media companies. It makes no sense. Trent said it himself. Not only was TMZ rejected, any news media that was at the funeral, they were all rejected. Did y'all see any news coverage of the funeral of Ashlee? Any? Did you see any news media saying, hello, guys, we are right here on the scene. We're at the location where Ashlee is being laid to rest. My name is Bill Willington, and we're here at the scene right now. Hello, sir. What exactly is going on inside the funeral right now? Did you see any media coverage? None. That's crazy. And it's a public funeral. It's one thing if it was a private funeral, because hear me out, guys. I know some of y'all probably thinking it's a funeral. Why would you want media there? Listen, the family made it a public funeral, open to the public. Anybody could come. So why would they reject the media if they need the media to get the word out so Ashlee could get justice, guys? That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you be mad with the media? Well, I don't want the media here because they're a bunch of gossipers. How you expect to get justice without media? You bugging. You bugging out. I would invite TMZ, ABC, whatever news media wanted to come through, because I'm trying to get answers. I would have been like, we need the United States to back us up. We need the FBI to get in on this case. And then it would have been on TMZ's website. Ashlee Jenae's parents are calling for the FBI to join in this fight for justice for Ashlee. We are at the event right now. TMZ is speaking to the parents. Here we are. This is what would have been going on if the family would have been diligent with this case, guys. It's like they don't care. They don't care. Why is it that I care more? And I'm a content creator on YouTube. I don't know Ashlee personally. But when I cover these type of stories, guys, it's weird. I can't even explain it. It's like when I'm invested in a news story and I'm covering a case, I may not know Ashlee personally. Because I'm covering the case, I'm invested into it to the point where I can't rest until it's solved. It's weird. It was like that when I was covering the case with rapper Takeoff. Those of you that follow my case with Takeoff, I probably made I'm not sure, probably 50 videos about that case. Same thing with Shanquella Robinson, Kanika Jenkins, any case that came out, Stephen Twitch Boss. I probably made 70 videos with Stephen Twitch Boss every day on that case. So with this situation with Ashlee Jenae, it's like I feel that if I don't speak, nobody's speaking for her. Nobody. That's why when I tell you guys about these YouTubers that are lying every single day, y'all could see it. Come on. Y'all, listen, you the viewer are supposed to know when a YouTuber is full of crap from when he's giving you good information, good commentary in regards to a topic. Some of these platforms you go to, you could see them lying to you. You could see them manipulating you, making up rumors as they go, not proving nothing. And they keep you viewing because they're lying to you. And it's all for a check on YouTube. They don't care. So let's look back at this interview where TMZ brought the family into their platform. Literally, they had the cameras, everything set up so that they could get their voices known. I want you to pay attention to the fact that the family never said, "We believe Joe did it." That is what the public need to hear. I think, guys, the reason why the FBI haven't gotten into this case is because the family's not making no noise, man. Some of you mothers would have been screaming to the mountaintops that that man murdered your daughter. And we want this investigated now. You wouldn't even rest. You wouldn't have no peace until your daughter get justice. Let's check this out. Let me turn the volume up. I don't know if it's loud enough, but let's check it out.
Influencer Ashlee Jenae died during a trip to Zanzibar earlier this month, and now her family is demanding answers. Ashlee's final posts on social media were of her celebrating her birthday with giraffes in Tanzania, Africa, and getting engaged to her boyfriend, Joseph McCann. But there's a local report claiming initial investigations determined Ashlee took her own life during the trip after falling out with her fiance just days after he proposed.
Now, let's pause there for a minute. It says falling out. Falling out. This is what TMZ said, guys. Falling out. So now, we got to talk about it because, again, even though I already covered this interview, when you go back and you listen to it again, and you look at all the new updates and you start listening again, you start hearing things you ain't hear before. She said falling out. Now, those of you who understand when you fall out with somebody, you separate. Did you get that? If I have a fallout with somebody, we not cool no more. We not talking no more. We not friends no more. We not cool no more. So what I'm getting, there could have been a situation where the engagement was called off and it broke Ashlee's heart, embarrassed her because she posted on social media. Something happened. Because if there was a fallout, that means they're not talking. You understand? They were separate based on what the story says. I don't believe they were separate, meaning put in separate rooms. I don't believe that story, but that's what they put out there. Whatever fight they had a fallout, which means their relationship probably ended in Zanzibar out there. And it was so much embarrassment for Ashlee because she already told everybody about how they're engaged, this, that, and she probably couldn't deal with that level of stress. I'm not saying she took her life. What I'm saying is something happened that was really, really bad. And for whatever reason, she ended up dead. And there's several scenarios I can spin, but we still need facts to substantiate all of these claims. That's why we need her cell phone, because I'm sure her cell phone have information. Did Joe take her cell phone? Was Joe beating her up? Did Joe choke her out? Did Ashlee hit Joe? What was going on in that hotel room that prompted staff members to come over there? You just don't end up dead, guys. It says that they found Ashlee unresponsive. Unresponsive could mean she took pills to try to unalive herself, allegedly. Notice how I said that? Because when you find somebody unresponsive, it means that you're trying to wake them up, but they're not budging. They might have a pulse, but they're not budging. Were they drunk? Were they under the influence of a drug? Were they choked out? Um, did she get food poisoning? I don't know. But when you're unresponsive, that's not the same as you're hanging on a door. If anything, the news media should be publishing Ashlee was hanging on a door, not she was found unresponsive. You don't, what do you mean she was found unresponsive if she's hanging on a door? That makes sense? No, it don't make no sense. Who puts out these crazy stories? I don't know, but it don't make sense. Let's go.
Now are Ashlee's parents, Harry and Yolanda, and their spouses. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So local authorities in Zanzibar initially said that Ashlee took her own life, but you guys released a statement saying that her death was suspicious. What do you think happened?
We're not too sure what happened. That's what we're trying to find out. I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar. They said the investigation is still ongoing. That they have not determined the cause of death yet at all. An investigation still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. That's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers.
What was the initial call like when you first learned that your daughter passed away?
The call was shocking and it was devastating and scary, honestly, because we don't know what's going on, what happened.
What did they relay to you at that time?
Well, the communication came to us from the Hotel Zuri Zanzibar, where they were staying. It didn't come from the hospital or from the police.
Have you guys since spoken to authorities or the embassy?
No.
We've had little contact with the embassy, but no, not with the police.
So were you told anything about the manner as to how she passed away or what exactly led up to her passing?
Officially, no, we have not talked to anyone from the police or anybody in the medical field at all. Nothing.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That Joe McCann, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
Did you get that? She just said that they told her that Joe McCann had found Ashlee. How could he find Ashlee, guys, if Joe McCann was moved to a separate room, have his own key card to that separate room, right? How could he find her? What are the odds of him finding her? And how could he gain access to that room if he don't have the key? Because if you separate a man and a woman who just experienced a fight, why would you leave the man with the key so he could go in there and hurt the woman? You see that? She just said that Joe was the one who found Ashlee. But then we heard later reports, right, that contradicts that story, that suggests that the hotel staff came to Ashlee's room. Ashlee requested a charger. They gave her the charger. And then they said, Ashlee said, come back in 10 minutes because I may need something else. And it says that the staff member from the hotel came back to the room, noticed the lights was off, right? Knock, 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 no response. And then they used an emergency key card to enter the room and found Ashlee. So we got 2 stories coming out of Zanzibar. What do we believe if everybody's lying? You know? It don't make no sense. What are the laws in Zanzibar? I don't live in Zanzibar. I can't answer that question. Right? I don't know what the laws are over there in terms of what they do. All I know, based on what I've researched and what I got even from people that are Africans, is that you have to bribe people in Africa in order to get results. And there's a lot of corruption. And they were saying that the justice system is not fair. So basically, a man can unalive a woman and get away with it. People gotten unalive out there, and all you got to do is bribe them with some money, and it is what it is. And I'm glad the person that commented earlier in regards to Fumi Delavoid, when I exposed what she did, and if you guys are new and you're viewing this channel, maybe some of you have come across Fumi Delavoid's YouTube channel. Put a 1 in the chat, guys, if you are a follower of Fumi Delavoid's YouTube channel, this African woman on YouTube. Put a 1 in the chat if you're following her platform, because you may not know this, guys, but that YouTuber, the woman who she's acting as if though she's following this case, like she believes in justice for Ashlee. She really don't, guys. She filed 3 copyright claims against my platform, trying to silence my voice, trying to destroy my livelihood, trying to terminate my channel with a false report, guys, alleging that I'm infringing on a copyright, when all I've done is react to the videos where she's reacting to other people's videos. And she claimed that I'm infringing a copyright. I need for you viewers that follow her to really reconsider following, because anybody that is doing that to another YouTuber, that's criminal. That's the equivalent of trying to unalive me. Because here I am doing an excellent job reporting on this story, sharing my thoughts, and in the background, she's busy filing false claims, trying to terminate and destroy my platform. And then when she's ready, she uploads video acting like she cares about Ashlee. She don't care about Ashlee. She cares about making money, guys. That's all she cares about. I've been trying to warn you guys, because the other day I made a video where Fumi said that the family of Ashlee, right, that they need to take the GoFundMe money. Let me go check out that, guys. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can bring that up. Right? The GoFundMe, right? I think this is it here. Yeah. So this is Ashlee's GoFundMe, right? The family generated over $64,000 already. Fumi Delavoid, on her own video on YouTube, said that the family should take the money that you guys donated and go to Africa and bribe people in Africa to get results. Now, someone came into the live chat earlier. I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure. I can't remember the name. I'm not sure if it was a Kathy or somebody else. My bad if I forgot the name, right? They made it very clear that you don't bribe anyone to give you the truth. This is what I was speaking on in my video that she got flagged off of YouTube. The video got deleted, guys. Three of my videos where I was basically critiquing Fumi Delavoid and how her commentary is not in line with bringing justice to Ashlee. She's spreading rumors, lies, misinformation, and it's not helping the case with Ashlee. And what I discovered is that she's suggesting that the family bribe people in Africa in order to get the truth about what really happened to Ashlee. And I was trying to make the people understand that you don't need to be bribing anyone to get the truth. Bribing someone is what you do to get them to lie for you. You get what I'm saying? You bribe them to get them to lie, not tell the truth. So for Fumi to say that you need to bribe people in Africa, that speaks volumes of what's going on, which means you can pay to get people to lie for you. So if Joe unalived Ashlee, all you got to do is just get people in Africa, pay them, and with a bribe to lie for him. That is why I don't believe that Joe was separate or placed in separate rooms. I don't believe that story. I don't believe it, because it says that Joe was the one who found Ashlee. How could Joe find Ashlee if he's in another room 10 minutes away, guys? Let's just use our brain. Think about this, guys. What are the odds of Joe finding Ashlee, hanging herself, and she's still alive, so much so that he could contact the parents and say, Ashlee's okay, we're taking her to the hospital? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. It sounds to me like he unalived her in the room, probably choked her, and basically called the mom, called everybody, probably lost his cool, you know? Probably was trying to restrain her. Maybe they were fighting. She probably scratched them and whatnot, because there has been word that he changed his profile picture and all this other stuff. I didn't really get into that because to me it sounds kind of dumb. And I'm going to explain why it sounds dumb. Because if he already had a profile picture up, why would he change the profile picture and then put something covering his face? Because they're saying that maybe he had marks on his face. That really don't make sense, because you don't need to change your profile picture to bring attention to that. You'll just stay away. So it really wasn't worth talking about. But what if Joe and Ashlee was fighting and he choked her in defense or whatever, and he did it so much so that she passed out? Do you see that? And when that happened, she was out and she wasn't waking up. He was trying to wake her up. Wake up, Ashlee, Ashlee. Oh my goodness, what did I do? What did I do? Oh man. Hello, hello. Yeah. And he communicated and got the people to come in. And they said, Joe discovered her. Well, Joe was always there. That's why he discovered her. Do you see that? Joe was already in the room, guys. How could Joe discover a woman hanging herself if he was put in a separate room? What kind of miracle is that? Where he's able to come all the way over to her room, put the key in the door. And you know what's so funny? I'm glad you brung that up at J-Wash. I'm glad you brung that up, fam. Because I was meaning to say this in another video. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me read your comment. It says, that's some movie stuff. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, guys, it doesn't mean that I'm correct, but this is just something that I wanted to throw out there. What if this entire Ashlee Jenae case is nothing but a promo for a movie? Just follow me. Don't jump to conclusions. Just follow me. It's something that was on my mind for a long time. Why I say this? If you look at Joe McCann's love letter that he wrote for Ashlee, what did he say in the letter? He said, matter of fact, let me bring it up. Give me a minute. Let me go get it, guys. I'm gonna prove all of this. Let me bring it up. Where is this thing? Let me see if I can find this file. Give me a minute. Okay, I got it. Okay, let's bring this up, and I'm gonna find this info for you. Now, I'm gonna prove this, man, because it's just something about this entire case that is not adding up. It's not adding up, guys. So let me do this. Give me a minute. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me read what it was saying on this love letter that Joe put out there. I'm going to read the whole thing, right? So this is the message that Joe put out the other day that a lot of people have been talking about. It says, there are no adequate words to describe the total devastation, emptiness, and shock I feel after losing my best friend, confidant, and fiance, Ashlee Jenae Robinson. As a father myself, I am also heartbroken for Ashlee's parents, Yolanda Endress and Harry Robinson. Ashlee's death is an incomprehensible tragedy. Devoted fans knew Ashlee through her charismatic online persona, Ashlee. But the person I loved was Ashlee, a woman who embodied the virtues of compassion, empathy, kindness, generosity, and love. A nurturing presence, Ashlee cared deeply for the people closest to her. which to my internal gratitude included me. She fattened me up with her amazing cooking and had a great relationship with my kids. Each day, we shared both quiet moments of reflection and the many joys of being in love with each other. Ashlee was a loving soul, so much so that she called herself a lover gal, as an homage to her Trinidadian roots, in which she took great pride. What Ashlee desired most was to become a mother and to raise a family together. There is no question that she would have been an amazing mother. Ashlee's talents extended well beyond her online persona. Ashlee Jenae, she was a creative genius, even writing, directing, and acting in her own short film. Did you get that? Only on Ringo TV Reactions, we bringing this out. Question: have any of you seen any of these short films from Ashlee? Because what this can all be is one big promo for a movie. Because why is Joe telling us this? It says that she is a creative genius, even writing, directing, and acting in her own short film. What if this whole thing is one short film? Just speaking out loud. We know we're investigating a case, but I want this to be known publicly on my platform before anybody try to steal my material. You see that? Why is he saying this? Because what films have Ashlee put out there? So it goes on and says she was an incredible decorator, also making sure our home reflected the current holidays or season. Hosting was second nature to her, going above and beyond for the guests that we entertained. Ashlee also had an encyclopedic knowledge of music, especially her favorite band, Aerosmith. She enjoyed techno and dancing, was learning to DJ, and could rap too. Ashlee was an angel who shined her light on everyone fortunate enough to be in her presence. There is no way to fill the unfillable void left by Ashlee's passing, and no way to make sense of this unfathomable loss. All we can do is carry on Ashlee's legacy of helping other people, and strive to live up to her virtues every single day. Ashlee, I love you forever, Joe. And that was published on May 5th, which was the very day of the so-called funeral, in which Ashlee wasn't even put underground based on what Trent said in his video at the funeral. So now, when we look at that, right, let me move this. Let me get this out the way. And again, the GoFundMe, guys, 64,000. So my point when I talked about the movie thing, right? When you look at this entire investigation, it feels like a movie. It feels like something that was written. And I'm just saying, if this was one big play for a movie, shame on them for getting the people all invested only to be promoting a movie. But if it is a movie, guys, and it turned out to be that, you heard it here on Ringo TV first. All right? So now, $64,000 was given to the family. The family never used the money to go to Africa. They never did. Now, the family never updated you guys on the GoFundMe. Normally, when you do a GoFundMe, it's always good to update the donors so they know what's going on. Now, watch this. Many of you have reached out asking, how can you support our family during this unimaginable time? Now, this unimaginable time. Let me see. This GoFundMe was created April 14th, guys. April 14th. The family still haven't gone to Africa yet. We're in May, guys. It's May 10th. Almost a whole month, guys. The family still haven't gone to Africa yet, which is crazy. There's no diligence on their part. It says, many of you have reached out asking how can you help support our family during this unimaginable time. And we are so grateful for the love and prayers. Our beloved daughter, Ashlee Robinson, traveled to Zanzibar, Africa to celebrate her 31st birthday and got engaged during what should have been a joyful and memorable trip. Just days later, she was found unconscious. Did you get that? Did you get that, guys? Not found hanging. She was found unconscious. Some report says unresponsive. The family says unconscious. I thought they said Ashlee hanged herself. You see what I mean? I'm just trying to put it all together, guys. Trying to put the puzzle together. So that's why it's always good to go back to the information so that you can relive what took place. So it says, just days later, she was found unconscious in her villa at the Zuri Hotel and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. But now here's another problem. She went to 2 hospitals, not 1. You see that? She didn't just go to the local hospital and die. She went to 1 hospital, then they took her to another hospital. So which hospital did she die in? Where her death was confirmed hours later. What was meant to be a dream became our family's worst nightmare. As we grieve, we are also navigating an ongoing investigation and the challenges of being thousands of miles away while trying to bring Ashlee home with dignity and seek answers. This fund is in response to those asking how to help and will support travel costs, arrangements, and unexpected expenses during this time. Thank you for standing with our family. Harry Robinson and Yolanda Denise Endres. Okay. It says, as we grieve, we are also navigating an ongoing investigation. The family haven't done anything yet. There's no investigation. No updates. They haven't given you anything. And they basically shut the media down, so the media is not following the case the way we would like to see. It says, and the challenges of being thousands of miles away while trying to bring Ashlee home. As we know, Ashlee's body was returned to the U.S. It says, with dignity to seek answers. This fund is in response to those asking how to help with support. How to support and will help travel costs. Okay, travel costs. The family have not traveled yet. They haven't traveled to Zanzibar. Arrangements and unexpected expenses during this time. What unexpected expenses? What unexpected expenses? Guys, you guys got robbed for your money. That's why I told you folks to go to GoFundMe and get a refund. They took your money. They never used the money. Listen, guys. When someone set up a GoFundMe and they say this GoFundMe is for this or that, you, the donor, need to hold them accountable for what the GoFundMe was for. Every dollar gotta go towards what they said and promised. If not, they're using it for personal use. It's a hustle. It's a hustle, guys. So now, let's get back to the video. Let me rewind it back a little bit so that we're on point with what we're dealing with here, right? Let's go back to this. Let's get back into it. Hit the like button, guys. If you're new to the platform, consider subscribing. Hit that like button so YouTube can push the videos, guys. Let's get the likes to 1,000.
Or anybody in the medical field at all. Nothing.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That the person, that Joe McCann, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
You see that? The hotel told the family that Joe McCann was the one who found her, guys. Do you see that? So where did we get this story that hotel staff were the ones who found Ashlee and all of this stuff about a phone charger? I don't think that's true.
And then a follow-up call from the hotel several hours later.
And I
Relaying.
we just think it's very odd that our daughter traveled with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And
now, watch this, guys. Pay attention here, because this is where a lot of us got really angry with Joe. But Joe and his attorney is basically saying that he did, in fact, reach out to the family. Listen to this. Listen to it very carefully. And also, watch this, because I don't think anybody's focusing on this. Remember, TMZ said that it was Ashlee's mother who reached out to Joe. Ashlee's mother. And Ashlee's mother left Joe on red. So, when you listen to the father speaking, the father may not even know that Yolanda left Joe on red. Put it together.
odd that our daughter traveled with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashlee was okay, and she was stable, and she was okay, and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes. 11 hours later.
So have you?
Do you see that? Joe was in communication with Yolanda, not the father, guys. Why the father's not communicating with Joe? Yolanda was doing all the communication with Joe. So that means what we're probably getting here, guys, is this. It wasn't a phone call between Yolanda and Joe. It was a text message. The very text message that TMZ, let me see if I can bring it back up. Where is it? Where the hell I put it? I think it's back here somewhere. Nope. Just had it. I don't know where I put it. I think this is it. Okay. The very same message that TMZ published. Let me see if I can find that section where it says that Ashlee Jenae's fiance, Joe McCann, tried to reach out to the family after her death, but communication basically hit a wall immediately thereafter. Let me find the part. Okay. Ashlee's mother, Yolanda, texted Joe asking what happened on April 9th, shortly after Ashlee died in Tanzania. And despite being completely crushed by her death, Joe responded promptly and appropriately. So here's the thing. When you hear the mother saying that Joe told her Ashlee is good, we're taking her to the hospital, that was a text message. That was a text message. That was not a phone call, guys. That was a text message. That was not a phone call. Joe was texting. He texted the mother back promptly and appropriately, letting her know what's going on. But according to Joe's side, Yolanda never replied back. And he says he hasn't heard from the family since. So now what we're getting is the family basically ghosts Joe at this point. So now let's rewind this back and listen to what they said so we could put this together, because it is not right that Yolanda lied and said that Joe never reached out. That's a lie.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That the person, that Joe McCann, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
And then a follow-up call from the hotel several hours later,
And I
relaying.
I just think it's very odd that our daughter traveled with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe.
You heard that? Now the father said our daughter was traveling with Joe, but we don't hear anything from Joe. But that's not true, because Joe contacted Yolanda. That's why when you look at her face, let me get the screenshot, because right after he said that, I want you to look at Yolanda's face, right? I didn't move nothing. You ain't see the image on the screen move at all. What I want to show you is how her face looked, right? Can I do that here? Oh, I can't. I'm going to have to open this up. Let me see. Give me a minute. Got to open this thing up. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, because I want you to see her face. Her face says it all. Her face says it all, guys. Let me see. Okay, so as you can see, I took the screenshot right there. So this is the screen here. So what I want to do is open this up. Right when he said, we haven't heard from Joe, right? I want you to look at the mother's face, because the mother knows she's lying. See with the father right there, right? But now look at her face. You see that? She knows that she's lying. She knows she already was contacted by Joe. That's what I'm seeing in the body language. She knows that Joe did contact her and she left him on red. Now, again, I believe Joe had something to do with this thing. I could believe that all I want. At the same time, I don't want her to get away with lying. I know that's Ashlee's mom, but she lied. You can see it on her face, guys. She lied. She was contacted by that man. She left him on red. He responded to her by telling her, yo, she good. We're taking her to the hospital. Everything is okay. It is what it is. And remember, Joe is not a medical professional. So for all he know, he probably thought she was good. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. That's all I'm doing. Only the medical folks know. Now, let me take this thing here, put this right here. Based on how these two images look, you can see that they're really not in communication with one another. She was responding to Joe. She talked with Joe more. The father wasn't communicating. How come that man didn't contact Joe? How come the mother was the one who initially contacted Joe first and not the father? The man's supposed to be talking. Don't let your woman do all the damn talking. You need to talk. Let's go.
To me, that's very odd. And initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired, and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashlee was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes.
But see, there's a problem with this, because they're saying 11 hours after something transpired in the room. But didn't they tell us before that Ashlee contacted her mom to tell her that her and Joe got in a fight? So what are they talking about? That don't make sense. Because if Ashlee contacted the mom, what time did Ashlee contact the mom to tell them that they were in a fight?
11 hours later.
So have you spoken to him since, and what has he been saying?
There has been no communication.
You see, there have been no communication. But nobody's telling the public that Joe was left on red. Do you see that? This is where a lot of us got pissed off with Joe. Like, wait a minute. You didn't mean to tell me your woman dead, you ain't communicating with the family? You tripping, dog. You guilty. You see what I mean? So at this point, Yolanda already know what she did. She never responded to the guy. And the family is all in cahoots with one another in order to make it look like Joe didn't reach out. Joe didn't say nothing. Joe ain't talking. But it's Yolanda who didn't respond to Joe so that the family could get another update from Joe. So basically what I'm getting is that the father is angry because he's out of the loop because Yolanda is not telling him what she did. So the father naturally is going to say, we didn't get no communication from Joe. The father's new wife is going to say the same thing. We ain't hear from Joe. Rightfully so, they're being honest. But the truth is, Yolanda left Joe on red. And that is making Joe look like he's the bad guy for not responding to the family.
Oh, shocking. So, as you've seen, the local report had claimed that she took her own life. Did you guys ever think that Ashlee had any mental health issues?
I don't think that's farther from the truth. If you go to her page, everything, she's a beacon of light. She had to be on, like being in the camera. She was an influencer. She loved her family.
She loved her family.
She loved her family.
Most of
What was her mindset like before going on this insane African birthday trip?
excited and happy, and she was elated that she was traveling for her birthday to celebrate, and be with who she was the love of her life.
And you guys said there's really been not much communication between you and her fiance, Joseph. What if you could say anything to him right now? What would you say?
I just want to peace. And we want to know what happens.
See, now this is where it gets really very, very bad for the family. Because TMZ is asking the family, if there's anything you want to tell Joe, they was like, we want the truth. But Joe responded to Yolanda. He responded to her. She never responded back to Joe so that Joe could give her the truth, if that makes sense. Again, I believe Joe is guilty. I believe he's guilty, but I'm trying to be fair and balanced to understand why she lied. Why did she lie? Because that whole statement, listen, let me play it again. This is why TMZ is doing what they're doing right now.
Be with who she was the love of her life.
And you guys said there's really been not much communication between you and her fiance, Joseph.
You see that? So you're saying that there haven't been no communication between you and Joseph, right?
What if you could say anything to him right now? What would you say?
I just want to peace. And we want to know what happens.
What is your?
They want to know what happened, but Yolanda never responded to Joe's message so that she could get to know what happened. So by them putting this out on this interview, it made Joe look really bad. Believe it or not, this interview with the family, it made Joe look like a monster. It made him look like he don't even care about nothing. That's why I got to do my videos and make sure I'm fair and balanced. Even if I have my opinions of Joe, because again, everything got to be proven. That man not going to spend not one day in prison if it's not proven that he murdered Ashlee. Always remember that, guys. You can make 1,000 YouTube videos. The media could talk about the story. We could talk about whatever we want to talk about. if we don't got the evidence and the proof that could put Joe at the crime scene, that man ain't going to no prison. He's not. That's why an investigation is necessary. This is why I tell you guys, stop following YouTube platforms that are not speaking truth. These channels that just lie to you every day, gossip all day, telling you a bunch of stupid stuff like Joe got a bunch of women in Zanzibar. He's part ownership with the hotel, his cryptocurrency and all this garbage. None of that stuff have anything to do with the case, guys. We got to stick with the case.
Understanding as to where his whereabouts are now, and why do you think he would be avoiding your calls?
You see that? Why do you think he would be avoiding your calls? Did you get that? Why do you think he would be avoiding your calls? They never called Joe. Did you get that, guys? That's why TMZ is putting out these reports, because they're trying to update the viewers and the listeners on what's going on. Let me rewind that back. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go get the message from TMZ, right? Let me see where we at. Okay. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, watch this. Is this it? No, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, this is it. Let me see. We're also told the family has always had Joe's contact information and could have reached out whenever they wanted to, but never did. Guys, this means Joe and his attorney pulled phone records showing that the family never reached out to him via phone call. Let's get back to the tape. Listen to this. Let's put it together.
What is your understanding as to where his whereabouts are now, and why do you think he would be avoiding your calls?
We don't know. We're unsure right now. That's why we're trying to seek the answers.
Do you know?
You see that? They didn't even say, well, we didn't call him, or he didn't call us. They made it look like Joe is avoiding their calls, guys. Are y'all getting what this looked like? Even if you disagree with Joe, even if you think something wrong, I don't know if my screen is messed up, guys. I don't even know if I'm blurry on your end. Give me a minute. Let me do this real fast. Wipe this screen real quick. I don't know if it's on my end or whatever the case is. Got to make sure that the screen is clear. Looked like it was dirty. Maybe it's probably more clear now. But notice that what they just did right there, it made it look like if Joe was ignoring all of their phone calls. But the family never called Joe. They never did, guys. Look what TMZ published. We're also told the family has always had Joe's contact info. Didn't I tell you in my investigation that the family got to have that man's number? They got to have his phone number. And I was like, did they call him? It says they could have reached out whenever they wanted to, but never did. That means Joe's attorney showed phone records to TMZ. All of this is going to come out. It's going to come out, guys. It is going to come out. The family never reached out to Joe. But what they did in that interview is they made it seem as if though they were. And Joe was rejecting all of their calls. And what that did for public perception, it made Joe look like a monster. Think about how that makes you look. Ashlee is dead. The family is calling this man and he ain't responding? Bro, that's going to make him look crazy. Right? So now it goes on and it says, as we previously reported, Joe was questioned by local investigators following Ashlee's death. Even had his passport seized during the investigation. Though he has not been arrested or charged in connection with her death, still, Ashlee's family has since decided to prohibit Joe from attending her funeral regarding communications with Joe. They claim Joe reached out once to tell them Ashlee was okay after being taken to the hospital. So that once was the text message. Do you see how we're able to get this information to you folks? Hit the like button, guys. None of these YouTubers are able to break down this information the way Ringo TV does. Joe communicated via text message. It was not a phone call. It was one text message letting them know that she's okay and we're taking her to the hospital. And the family left Joe on red. They never responded back. But they made the public believe that they were calling Joe and Joe was ignoring all their calls. What we're not going to do in the investigation, guys, is make it appear as though the family was doing all the right things. The family was avoiding Joe. That's wrong. That's wrong. You shouldn't be avoiding the man and making it look like he was avoiding you. Don't do that. Not when we're involving justice for Ashlee. So now let me get back to the interview. Here's some more. Hit the like button, guys.
You spoken to authorities at all?
We're not aware.
We're not aware.
We're not aware of that at all.
Because what I knew is we haven't spoken to authorities. So I'm not sure who they are talking to. It's one answer. It's
Our attempts to get information.
I'm so sorry you guys are going through this right now. That must be.
Now, you see, the woman is saying, I'm so sorry you guys are going through this, because they're like, wow, why Joe not returning calls? You guys are calling Joe and he's not responding? TMZ did their homework. They went to Joe and it was like, look, did the family reach out to you? Did the family call you? Joe is like, no. They never called me. They never reached out. They got my number. So the whole time, the family never called you. They never did. They got my number. If they wanted to call me, they could have called me. But TMZ interviewed them prior. And it appeared as though the family was agreeing that, yeah, we was calling Joe and he is ignoring all of our calls. But it never happened. The family lied to TMZ.
Extremely confusing, especially if you are saying that she was so excited for this birthday trip, didn't really have any history of mental health issues. That's got to be extremely confusing and frustrating for you guys. I'm very sorry you're going through that. No parent should ever have to bury their own child. Have her remains been released to you yet? And what are the plans for the funeral?
We don't have any of that. We don't have any of that information yet.
So from your understanding, her body is still in Zanzibar, Africa. What is the last update you got on your daughter's death?
we haven't had a first update yet. That's the
only.
They started laughing when they asked about an update. That pissed me off. When they asked about the update, the white man laughed. Everybody was giggling. That don't make no sense to be laughing. What are they laughing about?
We haven't had a first update yet. That's
the only thing was a brief email from the embassy stating that the investigation was ongoing. That's it.
And that we did reach out. We knew about the footage at the hotel. Was there any footage? Did you look at the footage? Did you see the footage? These are things that's very important to us. These are things that can clear everything up.
They're saying that the footage is very important to them, but they never went to Africa to get the footage. That's the problem that I got. The family is saying, oh, the footage, but they didn't get on a plane yet. You know? They didn't get on a plane yet to go to Africa to deal with these issues.
It gives us the timeline. It lets us know what happened. We have not seen or heard or even anything about any kind of footage surveillance. These are things that we need to know.
How are you guys feeling right now?
Devastated, lost.
A lot of
Confused.
unanswered questions.
Did you guys meet him before this trip, or did he ask you for her hand in marriage before proposing?
Yes,
Yes.
we have money.
Yes.
So Joe asked for the daughter's hand in marriage before. That's why I told you guys, when you look at social media and you see those AI videos that are on their Ashlee's platform, that's for social media. Joe already was engaged to Ashlee. Do you understand? They were already engaged. The family confirms this. This is why when I put out that information, people trying to give me pushback saying that's not so, they didn't answer the question. They answered the question. If I ask you, hey Derek, did you enjoy yourself at the party? And did you enjoy the food? And you answer, yes, I had a great time at the party, fam. You answered both questions. Because if you enjoyed yourself, you enjoyed the food. You understand? So if the family was asked, did he ask for your daughter's hand in marriage? And did you meet him already? And they say, yes, we met him. Yeah. You answered both questions. Let's not play dumb, right? So Joe and Ashlee was already engaged. What we saw in Zanzibar was her celebrating her birthday. And she wanted you to see the engagement thing so it could look like a fairy tale. Remember, she's a content creator, influencer, camera is always rolling. So she did that to make it look like a fantasy. That's what every woman would want, you know? And seeing Joe get on one knee, all of that stuff, that's fairy tales. You understand? First of all, the camera's rolling. So before Joe got on his knee, they had to tell somebody, hey, I'm about to get on my knee. Click record, action. Guys, that was all content. That's social media. It's not real. You get it? Cameras don't float around recording a man engaging, like proposing. No, they were already engaged. That was for the internet.
Thank you so much, you guys. Is there anything else you want to add? I know a lot of people are wanting to hear from you and probably have just as many questions as you guys do at this time.
Yeah, the content was fake. Definitely fake. It was all AI generated. You look at those videos, man. I didn't even do my video about it yet, but I got to break down all the footage because it's all AI generated. All that footage that's on her page, it's AI, guys. It is not real. It is AI content.
I was just going to add that we just want the answers to the questions that we're asking and that everyone's asking. We need help getting information, and
he said we need help getting information. Well, if that's the case, why you rejected TMZ? TMZ could get information. Y'all bugging. For you guys to reject TMZ from the funeral, that was the worst thing you could do. TMZ got the resources. They got people that find stuff. They got people that will uncover things. Do you understand me? So to reject them, you just cut off your lifeline right there. I don't think the family is interested in justice for Ashlee. I really don't think they are.
that's really what we're asking for.
Yes, and that's the reason why we went to social media on Sunday. We had to get it out there because this happened on Thursday and nothing's out there. Like nothing was talked about, nothing was there. So that's why.
Notice he said we went to social media because nothing was being talked about, nothing was out there. Okay, so then why would you reject the news media? Why would you reject content creators like myself? Why would you not do interviews? Why would you not? There's none of this stuff. You guys are not seeking justice for Ashlee. That's why I don't trust Ashlee's family. Because they're not fighting for Ashlee's justice. They're not. They're being complacent, lazy, they're procrastinating, they're not making moves. They haven't set foot in Africa yet. They don't got her personal belongings. They don't got her cell phone. They're not fighting for nothing. Ashlee's identity is at risk. Identity theft can take place. Somebody got her purse, her ID, her cell phone. Somebody got all of this stuff. Did Joe say he got it? Did Joe come into the public and say, hey, I got Ashlee's personal belongings. I'm mailing it back to the family. This is why I don't trust Joe. I don't trust none of these people, guys. I'm just reporting the news. trying to make sense out of this mess, because none of it is making sense. Joe writes love letters, but he didn't tell the public what they were arguing about. Hey, Joe, what were you and Ashlee arguing about that would make her want to unalive herself? And please don't give me no nonsense, because in order for this to make sense that she took her life, you got to tell the public exactly what you were arguing about. Because if it was some old petty argument of, well, you didn't take me to dinner, I'm upset, she ain't unaliving herself over that. So something had to happen. Something was wrong. I just don't believe that that woman took her own life. I believe that Joe took her out. That's what it looks like. He's a bigger guy, probably strangled that woman. Something happened. And a lot of people want answers. So the story is not making sense. He's hiding a lot of information. And that's why we do these kind of videos, so that we could get to the bottom of this thing. There's so much to this story that needs to come out. And in order for that to come out, you gotta like keep putting the story out there, but you gotta make sense where you ask the right questions, because then now what that does, it makes the public now realize that, wait a minute, you're right, Ringo. Why Joe accepts that his woman committed S word, why Joe is not giving the family Ashlee's personal belongings, why Joe hasn't come out and explained what they were arguing about, what would push Ashlee over the edge to take her own life. Joe is not talking about nothing. That's a major red flag. It just says guilty. You understand? He can hire the best of attorneys. The way this story looks, he's guilty. But at the same time, I'm trying to balance out the playing field to make you understand that the mother lied. She lied. We're not going to let her get away. She needs to be held accountable for that, because that can also interfere with the case, and it can make Joe look like a good guy. You have to understand, again, ladies and gentlemen, I believe Joe is guilty. I believe he took Ashlee out. At the same time, I need for you to use your brain. Put on your thinking cap. If the mother is lying, that one lie makes Joe look good. Do you understand? Even though I believe he's guilty, it makes him look good. So now it looks like it wasn't Joe that was ignoring the family. It wasn't Joe that was ignoring phone calls. The family never called him. And Joe was the last one to text her, and she never returned a text message to say, oh, I appreciate you reaching out. Let me know. Call me when you got more info. She never reached that back to the man. So what that helps, it helps him in this case. It's not helping Ashlee. It's making him look like he was not avoiding the calls the way we thought, guys. We thought the family was calling Joe every minute. We thought that they were calling him night and day, and he was like, man, forget y'all. I ain't telling y'all nothing. That's what we were thinking. But they never reached out to Joe. You know? So you have to make sense of this. You have to understand what's going on so that you're not confused. This is why I tell you to stop listening to all of these YouTubers that are lying to you, because they're making up stories. The other day, Trent told you guys that he has a source and he know where Joe is. That's a lie. Because right after Trent said that, TMZ dropped the bomb and said that Joe now is granted to leave Africa and head on down to the US, which means he's en route. So when Trent told you he know where Joe is, that's a lie. Because if he knew, he would have told you he's on his way back to the US, but he didn't know. So he was putting out lies. That Fumi Delavoid, she just lies about everything. She repeats what anybody says on YouTube, and all she do is promote YouTube channels. That's why I told you that she's the handler of all of these other YouTubers that are lying. Listen, guys, any channel that you see Fumi Delavoid promote, don't watch them. I'm telling you straight. Do not watch them. They're all in cahoots with one another, all grifting for money. Remember, she's the one with the big channel, right? All those other channels are dependent on her. And she promotes them every day. Why? Because she makes her money off them. When those people make videos, Fumi sits. Oh, hi, Fumi Nation. Yes, today we want to talk about beautiful Ashlee. Beautiful Ashlee. We want to talk about her. You're gonna listen to this video from this person. This YouTuber is doing a wonderful job. No, she never mentions Ringo TV. You know why? Because I'm the one doing a wonderful job. She mentions the grifters, the people that are just after money, that spread lies and rumors and gossip. That's who she promotes. I tell you, anybody she promotes, don't view, because they're all liars, all of them. Let's get back to this.
This is what happened. This was our daughter. Everyone needs to know what happened. And that's why that.
Well,
yeah, they don't care about us. I know that already. They don't care about us. That's why you see what Fumi did to me, trying to shut down my platform. She don't care about me. She don't care that I'm a father. I got kids to take care of. She don't care. She want to see me suffer and die. That's why I told you, this is why you cannot take those people serious. Because if she's fighting for justice for Ashlee, as she claimed, why would she be trying to fight to destroy my platform, to have me destroyed? And I'm out here fighting for justice for Ashlee. She don't promote me. Do you hear Fumi shouting Ringo TV out for his excellent work? None of these YouTubers is doing better work than Ringo TV. None of them. None of them. None of these people. None of these YouTubers is giving you quality content. None of them. I'm giving you guys quality content, good discussion, good commentary, good breakdowns, things that are educational, that adds value to the case. Revisiting videos that we reacted to the other day. And what this does, it gives the viewer a better understanding of the case so that you're all on the same page. What we want is the viewer to be educated, knowledgeable, and have a good understanding of what's going on. And you're not tossed to and fro with gossip. We don't want the gossip. We don't want any of that drama. Trent talking about cryptocurrency and all this other stuff, bringing up who's being sued. None of that stuff have anything to do with Ashlee's death. We don't want to hear about no rappers being sued. We don't want to hear about who Joe was previously married to. None of that stuff is important. Why are you bringing up ex-wives and all this? None of that stuff have to do with Ashlee's death. That's all gossip. I don't care about that. Fumi said that Joe is in Africa having freak-offs like Diddy. That's gossip, guys. That's gossip. A woman her age supposed to know how to conduct herself. She's not a good person, guys. She tried to destroy my platform. We got 538 people here. I need for all of you to know. Fumi Delavoid filed 3 copyright strikes on my platform. That's right. Alleging that I stole her video and infringed her copyright. That's a lie. Her video is her reacting to other people's videos. So why is it that she's okay with reacting to other people's content, but if I react to her, I'm infringing a copyright? She's promoting t-shirts. She's promoting all this stuff. And I don't know if you guys peeped it. Did y'all see her husband on camera? Put a 1 in the chat if you saw that video, because I downloaded it. I'm going to definitely react to that video. She had the husband. He popped up on camera. You saw his hand, his arm, the white man. Here she is talking about the white man that was with Ashlee. She's talking about him like he's the monster, but yet she is out here with her white man. Make that make sense, guys. Make that make sense that Fumi is talking about Joe, but yet Fumi has a white husband too. And Ashlee's mom have a white husband too. You see that? And I'm not trying to make this thing a race issue. That's not what this is. I'm just looking at the hypocrisy on how they trying to demonize him. And I'm not saying he's innocent. I believe he's guilty. But they're all trying to demonize him, right? Saying, oh, and remember, Fumi was the one who told us that in Africa, the white man is God. I played all the videos. That's why she flagged my videos, because she's trying to hide the truth. Like I said, Fumi, I know you're watching. I'm going to make 1,000 videos about you. Thousands about you. So the world know everything they need to know. Because trying to silence people, that's the worst thing you could do to somebody, is trying to silence them because they're critiquing you. You can critique Joe, call him whatever, lie, slander his name, misinformation, defamation of character, all this junk you can do on him. But the minute I critique you, you don't like the criticism. That's pure hypocrisy, because you criticize others, you react to other people's videos, and it's perfectly normal. You reacted to Trent's video when he was at the funeral. You was playing his video. So it's okay for you to react to videos, but if I react to yours, you file fake copyright claims, this is not going to end well for you. You embarrass yourself, it's hurting your platform, and you're losing supporters and you're losing viewers. Trust and believe that. I know you're feeling it, because if you guys really think about it, if you look at Fumi's latest videos about Ashlee Jenae, they're not getting the views they used to get. They're not getting the views that they used to get. You know why? You good people that are over here, you were the ones that were giving her all her views. All you got to do is just get the word out. The people decide. When the people cut that tie off and they just say enough is enough, we're not supporting you no more, you're done. You ain't getting no more views the way you used to. And she's feeling it. Don't get mad at me. This is YouTube. You can't come on YouTube criticizing everybody else and then get mad when they criticize you. It is not a crime to criticize somebody. That's a part of the game. That's a part of the game, guys. You know? So, that being said, guys, the mom lied. Joe did, in fact, contact the family, reached out to the family, most likely told them exactly what's going down with Ashlee. Even though I know he's hiding information, I don't trust Joe. At the same time, what I want to establish in this episode is that the mother did, in fact, lie. She lied to TMZ. She lied to the public. She owed the public an apology, because a lot of you are believing that Joe was, not Joe, excuse me, that the family was calling Joe and Joe was rejecting all the phone calls. Put a 1 in the chat, because we need to know that the people believe this. Because put a 1 in the chat if you thought that the family was calling Joe and Joe was rejecting all those phone calls, because that's what I thought. Shout out to Forever Studios. See you in the building. Caramel, Kimmy Kim. Because I believed that. I was like, the family is calling Joe and Joe is rejecting the calls? What? That's insane. So it made Joe look bad. And that is what the mother was doing. But come to find out, the family never called Joe. They never did. You would have thought they would have been ringing this man's phone if their daughter died, guys. Ladies and gentlemen of the court of public opinion, I think you need to listen to this very carefully. I don't think it registered yet. Listen to me. The family of Ashlee Jenae never called Joe on their phones. Their daughter is dead. They never made a phone call. That's a red flag, man. That is a smoking red flag, because why would you be why would you be texting Joe? You texting Joe to ask him what's going on? When you supposed to be on the phone? FaceTime? That's crazy. I thought they would have been calling him too. They never called him. TMZ put the info out there. That means, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Now, here's my predictions. Excuse me. Here's my predictions. In the coming days, TMZ may end up dropping receipts. They're good for doing this. They may end up dropping receipts and phone logs showing that the family never contacted Joe. And they're gonna probably show the text message that Joe sent Ashlee's mom. I don't know if the attorney of Joe may grant it, but in due time, I believe that's going to come out. And when that come out, it's going to be a bombshell to the case, because now it's going to show that the family wasn't even concerned with Ashlee. How your daughter dead and you ain't call that man? Remember I was saying in my earlier videos that the family should have went to his house? Like, how y'all didn't pull up at this man's house? How come y'all didn't call him? I was flipping. Come to find out, the family never called the man. That's crazy. The family never reached out to Joe. That's wild. I can't believe that, but I believe that. And they try to make it seem like Joe didn't answer their phone calls when they never called Joe. That's crazy work. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get up on out of here. Appreciate everybody stopping by. If you like my content, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have about 530 something people in the building. We only have 340 likes, which means there's probably a lot of you guys that don't like my content. So it is what it is. You know, to those of you that like my content, I appreciate you folks stopping by. Even the people that don't like my content, if you're tuning in and you were here this long, that's it's appreciative. Subscribe to my channel if you rock with the platform. If you don't like my platform, you don't have to subscribe. It is what it is. Thumb the video up if you like the content. Thumb the video down if you don't like me and you don't like my content. All in all, I'm appreciative of those that tune in. I like to communicate. I like to talk about these stories. I'm very active in this type of field, and I think that I have a talent for breaking videos down, and I'm very good at it, and I really enjoy how people receive the videos on your end. It's one thing for me to be here communicating via this camera. It's another thing when you're on the receiving end and you're able to see how I break down these videos. I get a lot of people that tell me they love the videos. They like the way I break them down. I bring new meaning, new value. And to me, that's a win, because that helps with the case. It helps with the investigation. And you never know, guys, how this thing is going to turn out, because, again, we haven't heard from the family in terms of them publicly saying that they believe Joe unalive Ashlee. We also haven't heard Joe publicly come out and say that he believed that Ashlee took her life. So let's also make that note as well. It looks like Joe believed the official story, but what do Joe believe himself? We don't know yet. This is why these folks need to start to communicate with the public and stop keeping everybody in the dark. You know, we need real answers, because there's a lot of people out here that are invested in this case. And it's like these people trying to make this thing disappear, and we're not going to make it disappear. You know, if there's a real active investigation going on, the family of Ashlee need to be communicating with the public, giving us updates on what's going on. What's the verdict? Where's the autopsy, guys? Where's the autopsy from Africa? Where's the autopsy that was done in America? We want to know, where is the autopsy? Where's the results, guys? That's what we want. So that being said, fam, we're going to get up on out of here. Y'all stay safe. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. It is what it is. If you're driving on the road, be safe. Shout out to all my truckers out there. UPS, FedEx, DHL, United States Parcel Service, Amazon. Shout out to everybody out on the road. Everybody that's on a 9 to 5 doing the graveyard shift. Stay safe out there. Be safe. Watch your surroundings. Safety first when you're on your job. Always know that, guys. Remember company policy. Safety first. Always remember that. Don't cut no corners when you're on your job, especially when you're dealing with machinery, chemicals, or anything that could actually kill you on the job. Always wear your hard hat. Always wear your reflective vest, especially you folks that are on the road, you working on the road. Make sure, guys, that you are protecting yourself. Make sure your lights is on. Make sure you have those cones out in the street, reflective cones. Follow all safety precautions, guys. One mistake can cost you your life. So to those of you that are on the 9 to 5, make sure you go back home safe to your families and enjoy your weekend. It is what it is. Today I'm gonna, have a little cookout with the fam, put something on the grill, and kind of just enjoy myself a little bit and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. I might do a little video. I might do a little video outside. I don't know. I have to see how it is, guys. See how it is first. It's supposed to be some good weather tomorrow, so I'm gonna kind of do that. Get some burgers, some on the grill, some steaks, chicken, and whatnot. Them steaks is expensive too. Them steaks is expensive, man. Got to fill my truck up with some gas. Gas is expensive, man. I don't know, man. Am I the only one feeling the pinch, man, when it comes to gas prices, bro? I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's happening, man. But shout out to everybody that got electric cars, man. I'm hearing that's a good thing to have right now, man. Anybody in the chat got an electric car? Anybody out here driving Teslas, electric vehicles? I'm hearing that it's affordable to have, man. Like to drive the fuel, the mileage you get on your charge is pretty good. Like I don't know. Like, do we have anybody here that have a Tesla, an EV? And I don't know. Because it seems like I'm hearing like a charge on an EV, on an electric car, man, lasts a long time. A long time. So, and I'm hearing like your bill, like when you charge your car in your house, it's not that expensive the way, I don't know. You said they are expensive. Oh, gas prices are expensive. But with an electric car, it's less expensive, man. I don't know, man. I never drove an electric car, so I don't know how they maneuver. But based on what I'm seeing, they're fast, they're reliable, they're good, and whatnot. But I don't know. I just don't like going to the pump every minute, man. It's like I'm like, come on, man. I gotta go to the pump again. Come on, bro. Like now, like I gotta switch this thing up, man, because times is crazy right now, man. I gotta switch this thing up, bro, because I don't know. I'm trying to cut back on just driving around. I'm gonna try to see if I cut back. Them gas prices is crazy. Somebody said cut back. Yeah, man. I gotta cut back, bro. Sure, I got a family, man. You know how that go. You gotta buy food. You gotta buy this. Everything is expensive, man. You got a budget. You got to do this. Got bills. I'm real. I don't know about everybody else, man, but I'm real. I keep it a buck with the people. I go through the struggle just like everybody else, dealing with all the nonsense, all that stuff, you know. But I'll get up on out of here, gang. Appreciate everybody stopping by. I really appreciate you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? When I do these videos, it's like I be preparing my videos, right? Like when I'm preparing my videos to go live, I have like what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna talk about and stuff. And it's like my video develop as I go. Like I already know what I'm gonna talk about. And as I go, it starts to develop as I go. It's weird how it comes together. And it end up being a great show. So we're gonna keep you posted, guys. We're gonna come back with more. And again, guys, I gotta keep reminding you. My channel was attacked by Fumi Delavoid, YouTuber, the African woman who always promoting shirts when talking about Ashlee Jenae. She attacked my channel with 3 false copyright claims, and it affected my platform. It affected my earnings. It affected my reach because 3 of my Power Pack videos was removed and deleted from YouTube, and it's affecting the views in terms of the people hearing the story in terms of this case. So 3 pieces to the puzzle was removed by Fumi because she's jealous of Ringo TV, and she don't like the fact that I'm doing a great job and that I expose her lies and the manipulative tactics of what her and other content creators are doing. Anybody you see Fumi Delavoid promoting, don't follow them, don't view them. Those are the ones she's working with to make money off of Ashlee's death. So that being said, guys, I'm gonna get up on out of here. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat. Show Sal, Forever Studios, Caramel, Kimmy Kim. Salute to the new subscribers. Salute to the new members. Salute to everybody out there, and so forth. We're gonna pretty much get on out of here, guys. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, so I could do this thing real fast. Let me see. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da. Okay. Boom boom ba 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 ba. This is wild, man. Absolutely wild. That this woman lied, bro. Lied. She lied on Joe. Lied on Joe, fam. Let me see. The Africans want to take everything away from us, our livelihood. Yeah, what she did is horrible. Horrible. I don't trust that woman ever. Shout out to all the moms in the building. Shout out to all the mothers. You know what I'm saying? I see people wishing all the mothers happy Mother's Day. You know, shout out to my mom, RIP mom. You know what I'm saying? She passed away due to cancer. She was one of the best mothers ever. Shout out to all the mothers. Shout out to all of you that may have lost your mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you probably love your mom dearly. RIP to y'all moms that y'all lost your moms and whatnot. You know, but shout out to all the mothers out there that have been holding it down, taking care of their kids, going through. You know, being a mother is a very tough job, very difficult job. Being a mother is a full-time job, no days off, constant stress. Oh man, it's like you deal with your child from when they're a baby, and as they grow up, you have to keep adjusting and adjusting to them all the way to when they 18 and they get kicked out the house. You know, I'm preparing for my eldest daughter graduation coming up. Real excited about that. She's 17. You know what I'm saying? She'll be 18 in July. And I'm preparing for her graduation and whatnot. So, you know, we're pretty much focusing on that right now and stuff. So that's a proud moment, you know? Proud moment for a father to see his elder daughter graduating, you know what I'm saying, doing her thing. After that, you know, like I'm gonna be showing her other stuff and whatnot. I'm currently repairing her mom's car, but we're gonna pretty much take her out to pretty much teach her how to drive and stuff. She already got her permit. All of that stuff is ready and set. So we're gonna pretty much get her out on the road, let her get a sense of independence, do her thing and whatnot. And then you let them fly. You know what I'm saying? Let them go out there and do their thing, man. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Raising your kids, doing what you got to do, sacrificing. That's what you're a parent for. So to all the mothers out there that are holding it down, doing their job, salute to y'all. Happy Mother's Day. Man, what a job, right? It's a major job, man. Raising kids is a major job, fam. Major, major job. People don't understand, man. People do not understand how difficult it is, especially if a woman is a single mom and she's dealing with her kids by herself and you got to go to work. You're a trooper. Any woman that got to go to work and deal with their kids at the same time. I know you're tired. I know you are tired. Best thing I could tell you ladies is this, man. If the baby father's not active and he's not there and you just holding it down by yourself, you gotta find me time. You gotta do it. If you're one of them active mothers that also work at the 9 to 5, you gotta find time to unwind and do things for yourself, or else you're gonna lose your mind. Because you're overworked. You're at work, and when you come home, you're at work again. And you're doing this every day, every night. Then you gotta cook, clean, go to work, deal with the BS, come home, dealing with traffic. Man, every day, that'll stress you out. So find something that you can do that you enjoy and kind of treat yourself to it every week, not every month or only when you're on vacation. You got to treat yourself every week. In other words, once a week, go do something that kind of get you away from the kids, get you away from the job, and it's just you enjoying you. That way you can recoup, because I am telling you guys, a woman who have to go to work and deal with the BS of life, dealing with the bills, the stress, all the stuff that adults do, then have to raise the kids at the same time. I'm talking about all her time is taken. How does she find time for herself? That's why I said you got to put a schedule together, something, just 1 hour, something that you could do, 2 hours, something, once a week, 2 hours, whatever, and find something that you could do. And keep your mind at peace, because you will stress yourself out with work. And then you may end up getting mad with your kids, blaming your kids for stressing you out. It's not the kids' fault. They didn't ask to be here. All right. So you got to know how to manage the time, manage everything. Even if you have to get your kids involved with the chores around the house. Like, look, you jokers are going to have to start doing some work. I ain't doing everything. Somebody better start washing them dishes. You shouldn't be washing them dishes. Get one of them jokers to get in there and get on them dishes. Somebody got to get that trash. Somebody got to clean that bathroom. Not you. Because some of you ladies, you be letting these kids just do whatever they want to do, figuring they kids, and they don't even clean their damn room. No. Everybody got to work. If I got to go to work, y'all working. Everybody working. You know? If you live in a house, get one of them jokers to get on that yard and mow. Somebody got to clean the car. Somebody got to cut them hedges and them scrubs. Somebody working. The laundry, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Gather all your dirty clothes. You. Gather all your stuff. This is how you use the washing machine. Don't waste all my Tide. Put a little bit in here, a little bit there. You wash it on that cycle. And don't be using up all the water and playing games. It is what it is. If you paying that water bill in that house, you tell them jokers, you go in that shower and you get your ass out. Period. Do you understand me? Ain't no long showers in this house. No way. I'm paying water bill. You ever seen a high water bill? I did. I don't want that no more. I don't want that no more. Nope. So you tell them you get in, you get out. In, out. You get in, get that rag, soap, all that stuff. Woo, woo, boom, boom, boom. Da, 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 da. Rinse off. Woo, woo, woo. Done. Get out. What? Military showers. In, out. That's it. How long is a military shower? I don't know, but I know it's fast. In, out. Ain't no beauty showers in this house. Ain't gonna be no spa. No. Matter of fact, if you want to spa, listen, if you wanna be in the tub wasting water, what you gotta do is turn your tub into a spa. You fill it up, right? You get one of them home spa devices that you put in the tub, and what that does, it'll warm the water and create all the bubbles and all that stuff, and now you can just chill there in the water, relaxing. You're not wasting water. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You gotta know how to do your thing, man. And if you really want to get really, technical, put a pool outside your house and fill it up with water and create your own little jacuzzi thing or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get up on out of here. I can't believe it. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, gang. Wow, bro. The world don't sleep, man. That's why I be coming on at these times, because I know the world don't sleep. People be up all the time. People be up, bro. But anyway, y'all take care. Let's get these likes to 1,000, fam. Let's not hate. Get the likes to 1,000, fam. Come into the comment sections. Let us know where you from. Let us know if you're new to the platform so we can salute you and greet you. I may not get to everybody's comments, but I do look at the comments and whatnot. It is what it is. It says 4 a.m. by you, 5 a.m. Let me see. It's 5 there, 3. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it is what it is, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Y'all be safe out there. Again, guys, be safe. Safe. You know what safe mean? Safe. Drivers, stop driving aggressive. Be safe. Stop tailgating people. Be safe. You get it, right? Don't go bump into somebody's car. Man. Your insurance going up. You're going to be crying. That other motorist going to be pissed. Don't do it. I don't know. Am I the only one? Do you guys do this? Like, I don't like parking next to nobody. I don't like parking next to nobody. I don't. Like, I'll be stationary, just kind of chilling. I don't know what it is. It'll be 1,000 parking spots everywhere. People want to come park right next to me. I'm like, bro, what are you doing parking next to me for? So I just back out and go somewhere else. I do that all the time. I'll go park in a corner somewhere, far away, quiet and nice, where nobody don't try nothing. Because, sometimes people park next to you, they open their door and hit your car. You hit my car, it's going to be a problem on site. I'm just saying. On site. Because I know you did that on purpose, right? So I'll park far away. Like, let's say I go to a Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, Walmart. Somebody come right next to me. I'm like, let me back out and go over there. And I literally will move. I do it all the time. Piss them off when you do that. You park far away too? I do that all the time, man. All the time. I'm trying to protect my car because my car is clean and I like it that way. And I don't trust other people. Sometimes somebody could be driving a jacked up car and they'll park next to yours, open their door and hit your car and go about their business. You come back, your car got a big old dent. Big old dent. At least with Teslas, they got cameras all over the car that monitor everything. So, I don't know. But yeah. They are attracted to energy. Yeah, you're right, man. You definitely right. Like just tonight, where I go? I went to this store, and the way the parking lot is set up, right? Let's say you come in from this entrance, right? Or matter of fact, let me do it like this. Since you're viewing that way, you come in like this, and as you come in, there's parking spots in the front. So you could park here, or you could come in and then go around and park on this side here. So I decided to park way on this side, way in the corner. A lady come in, go all the way around, and parks right next to me, and all those other spots are empty. She could have been right in the front. She parks next to me. I'm looking at her like this. So now I gotta reverse all the way out in order to leave. I don't know why this happened to me. Every day. It really must be the energy. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here, man. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings in the mods in the chat. I got to get something to eat. And I got to go season up all of this stuff to put on the grill. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to season up all this stuff. I might do a video, guys. I might do a video and whatnot. I think I'm going to do that. That'll be fun. So y'all take care. Peace and blessings. See you guys in the next episode. Y'all have a good one. Peace.